Freeport is the highest scoring team on Long Island, and the Red Devils are hoping to defend their Nassau County Conference 1 title. But don't sell Farmingdale short. The Dalers are the only team to have beaten Freeport this year, a 3-point win in week 3. Can Farmingdale duplicate that performance, or will Freeport strike gold for a second straight year? Find out next on MSG Varsity. MSG Varsity HD presents a special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Football, live from Sherwood Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University. It's the Nassau County Conference 1 Championship with top seed Freeport taking on the 3-seed Farmingdale. Well, hi everyone, I'm Carl Reuter, joined by Greg Sauer and of course Mike Quick. And Mike, it's the middle of November, no surprise that we have these two teams playing for the county championship in Class 1, Freeport and Farmingdale.
Well, you know what, Carl? Russ Selin has a saying. Red and green don't mix except at Christmas time. And I don't see any snow out there. Let's get it on. It's going to be fun.
All right, Mike, we turn to Greg Sauer. And Greg, as I mentioned with Mike, no strangers, these two teams, to this field at this time of the year. It should be a great one.
Very familiar with each other. This is the game of the year. We thought the regular season game was a good one. This one promises to be an offensive shootout, and I guarantee you somebody's defense comes up with a very big play.
All right, both of these teams have exceptional players, and Mike, in the semifinal game for Farmingdale against Oceanside, quarterback Sal Tuttle went down. Since that game, he was in a sling up until yesterday. You went to practice. What's the story?
Carl, the King will put on the crown tonight. He's going to put that helmet on, number 11, right here a week ago. Goes down with a slight shoulder separation. Comes off the field, doesn't look good. Less than 24 hours ago, that's at Farmingdale High School, and Sally was throwing it around the yard. Looks good, feels good. He's a confident kid who's got big-time swagger. And remember, when they met the first time, Carl, 397 yards of total offense and 5 touchdowns for the King.
Mike, when you talk about offense, that leads us to Freeport. And Greg, you have to talk about the super running back and Dan Olivier.
Well, you said it best, Sir Olivier. They have the King, they have Sir Olivier. Check him out. This kid is unbelievable. Great vision, great moves. He's also a powerful runner. They average 325 yards a game on the ground, 468 yards in total offense. He is a monster running the ball. Check out the stats. 1,260 yards on the ground, 18 touchdowns. He also plays some defense, 68 tackles and 3 sacks, Carl. He's a guy to watch.
Two great teams, two great coaches. Let's first meet Buddy Krummenacher. What a job he has done at the helm of Farmingdale. A Farmingdale High School graduate, the class of 1964. Look at that record of 119, 51, and 6. Then, Russ Selin for Freeport. Back in 1986, he took this job. That's 24 years ago. Graduate, 1975. The Bulldogs of Lindenhurst. Look at that mark of 176, 81, and 3. Mike Quick, this is the second time this year these two teams are playing. The first one was a doozy.
It's the best football game I've seen this year, Carl. Week 3. Starts out pretty innocent. Sal Tuttle to Vinny Schultz, number 24. Well, he got into the end zone here, had a big game out there on Sunrise Highway. But the Red, they'd come back. Isaiah Barnes up top to Jeray Brown. Big gain in the dust out at Freeport High School, the way football fields should look. And right there, that's a good-looking football player. Kevin Wall, known for his running out of the backfield, but he could catch it. And the little big man, Maurice Irby, not a lot to hit. He could play it. Tuttle to Stark, to Schultz, and the game winner with 35 seconds left. That man caught it. Patty Stark from Sal Tuttle, 42-39. If this one's half as good, Jeff Williams and the Red Devils and this crowd here, it's going to be a big night.
The rematch is just moments away. The opening kickoff right after this timeout on a special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Football.
With so many high school games being played and information changing constantly, there's only one place to get the most up-to-the-minute coverage. At MSGVarsity.com, you'll find the latest scores and highlights in the tri-state area, posted faster than anywhere else. Plus, we're your first stop for the latest rankings in each region. We keep you connected and up to date with all things high school at MSGVarsity.com, another Optimum exclusive. Only the best begin the second season. Only the best prime themselves for the struggle. Only the best pay the toll. Only the best take the field for the opportunity to become champion. Let's go! The playoffs, weeknights at 7 p.m. Only on MSG Varsity, another Optimum exclusive.
Back here at Stewart Stadium, the campus of Hofstra University, Farmingdale and Freeport. Getting set to do battle. Carl Reuter, Mike Quick, Greg Sarah, fourth member of our broadcast team, working the sidelines. Here's Amanda Balionis.
Thanks, Carl. Let me say, you three look great up there in the booth together. I am loving it. But earlier this week, I talked to Russ Sellen right now at Freeport. You can hear how jacked up these guys are, and they didn't know if they were going to be against a quarterback Sal Tuttle team. And we asked Coach, hey, how are you preparing against an offense you don't really know who's going to be quarterbacking it? And he said, hey, we're going to prepare like Sal Tuttle is 100%, because let's be honest, even if he doesn't play, their offense is not going to change. Their offensive coordinator is still the same. The play calls are going to be the same. They're not going to change up their spread offense no matter who is back there. He said, hey, so we're going to prepare to make sure Sal Tuttle is back there. He said, if he isn't, he isn't, and if he is, we're prepared for it. And guys, I talked to Buddy Krumenacker too and asked him how that would change things as Sal Tuttle was injured today, and he said the same exact thing. He said, look, we run a spread offense for a reason, and that's because we can put other people in that understand our offense at that position.
All right, Amanda, thanks so much. We are ready to kick it off. Tonight, Freeport will receive in the red and white uniforms. Farmingdale will be in the green and white. Back deep, Jere Brown, number 5. Number 10, Evan Lapice, to the bottom of your screen. Kicking it off will be the Dalers from Farmingdale, a mark of 8-2. Striking the football was number 12, Greg Catalano. It comes to an up back, and that's number 22. That's Cedric Smiley, who brings it over the 30 to about the 33-yard line. And the highest scoring team on Long Island this year at 41.3 points a game has the football. We're led by Isaiah Barnes, the junior, at 6'2", 170. A young 11th grader with outstanding numbers, 15 touchdowns, only 2 INTs. They start with trips to the top of the screen. 4-2. This will be the first play from scrimmage. Offset, I left, Olivier 21. Quarterback Barnes works shotgun formation. Handoff Olivier. Olivier gets to the 35-yard line, a pickup of about 2 as we meet the rest of the Freeport Red Devils on offense. It's an explosive one. Olivier, Irby, Lapice. Jeff Williams will play all over the field. He'll even play quarterback at times. Berryhill, Knight and Ward, Morales, Merritt, and Terrell Brown, the right tackle, an exceptional football player. Second down and 8. As Freeport sends trips now to the bottom of the screen. In motion 14, Maurice Irby takes that speed option, tries to turn the corner on the right side, and that Farmingdale defense is there. And speaking of that Farmingdale defense, let's look at Buddy Krumenacker's team. 8-2 on the season. Robbie, Tenney, Sommer, and Ben Roser at defensive end. This an outstanding linebacking core. Palmer and Brescher and Wall, tremendous. Stark is a lockdown corner. He leads that secondary. All right, guys, what do you have right now? 3rd down and 6.
Carl, nice job by Andrew Joy. He made the first tackle of the game. He's starting out there at the left defensive end, and he also stretched out that second play to prevent the long run.
That's a first down carry by Isaiah Barnes over the 45 to about the 47-yard line.
You know, Carl, it's amazing where Isaiah Barnes has come from just a year ago when they brought him into the semifinals a year ago against Baldwin after their starter, Paul Ketchens, was hurt the week before. He wasn't ready to play in this football game, Carl. What a difference a year has made. He's calm, he's relaxed. Russ says, hey, he's just one of the most even-keel, loose guys that I've ever been around, and it shows. This team feeds off this kid.
And you know, when you talk about Isaiah Barnes, Russ Selin told him, he said, Isaiah, you're the guy in this system. It is your show. This will be a 2nd down and 10 for Freeport from the Freeport 48-yard line. He'll work shotgun again. This is Jeff Williams, the ball carrier. Williams gets to midfield, a pickup of 2, and it'll be 3rd down and 8 for the Freeport Red Devils.
Nice job by the middle linebacker, Mike Palmer, filling the hole nicely. After that long run, he made the tackle there, saved the touchdown. The last 2 plays, he's been filling real nice. A big tackle right at the point of attack. 2 tackles in a row. Palmer's doing a nice job, and he has to play well in the middle of that defense to prevent any of those long runs down the middle of the field. He's got to stop Freeport from getting those big wedges out there on the front of the line and getting through the tackle hole for a touchdown.
You know, guys, 44 Palmer, 39 pressure. The 2 of those linebackers combined for over 200 tackles this year. 3rd down and 8, shotgun again. It's Barnes looking to the far side, off the fingertips of the intended receiver, Maurice Irby. And it's going to be a punting situation upcoming for the Freeport Red Devils.
Well, Greg just talked about Palmer. He was there covering Irby. And one thing at practice yesterday, Coach Krummenacker took the old blocking sled, took those pads off it, turned it upside down and said, you have to tackle low. You have to run through these guys when you tackle them. Otherwise, they're going to run over you, or in Irby's case, he'll run underneath you.
Edwin Sandoval with the kick. Nice kick. Line drive taken by Stark at the 24, and he's buried at the 25. That's great punt coverage by the Freeport Red Devils. So here comes number 11, Sal Tuttle. Went out last week in the semifinal win over Oceanside with a separated shoulder. Was at practice yesterday, throwing some bullets, as Mike Quick reported. Look at the numbers on the year, just under 1,200 yards throwing and 13 touchdowns.
Looked real sharp in practice. We threw that first good hitch over the middle. Carl, big smile on Coach Krummenacker's face. He's like, I feel good now.
Talked to offensive coordinator Pete Mallory, said, we'll see, maybe we'll air him out real early in this game, but they go to the ground on the first play of the game, and that's number 32, Kevin Wall, who was stopped pretty much after a yard of a gain. It's Wall, Prendergast, Schultz, Stark, and Ward. A very good offensive line, led by the big guy, 76, James Schmachtenberg, the 260-pound senior. Second down and 9. Tuttle goes to shotgun formation. Farmingdale tries to work the ground again, but again, that Freeport defense, and it's not 1, 2, 3 guys, it's 4 guys that'll come and fly to the football as we take a look at this Freeport defense that gives up about 19.5 points a game. Stevenson, Knight and Ward, Terrell Brown, and Oscar Bruce. Olivier Williams and Errol Small at linebacker. Cedric Smiley, Streeter, Jalil Burton, and Jeray Brown. 3rd down, 6 to go, 7:42 remaining. First quarter, Tuttle drills, knocked down there in the secondary by number 30. That's Errol Small. On the season, had a couple of sacks, 51 tackles for a first-year starter.
Nice coverage in the secondary. Dropped off well. He threw with the coverage right there, Carl. He must be pretty confident in his arm strength because he threw that in a tight spot. Nice play on defense, knocking the pass down.
Jeray Brown back in single safety to receive this punt. Getting that kick off was Justin Martin. Here's Brown from the 38. Tries to turn the near corner, still on his feet. Brown gets shoved out of bounds at the 34-yard line. Outstanding run back by Jeray Brown.
Huge block by Evan Lapice to free him up down the left sideline. I mean, he laid the hammer on one of the fellas on Farmingdale. Watch this block. Boom.
Yeah, a couple of good blocks there, too. You know, Jaleel Burton came up, made a nice block. Lapice made a nice block. That's what these guys do. You see big, we talk about their offenses so much, Greg, but these teams have great specialty team play with the ability to come back up the field and make big blocks.
And the wild card here is the special teams and who's going to make the big play on defense. And so far, you might think this is a conservative start for both teams. I mean, we're 7 minutes in and we don't have a score yet, but don't be fooled by that. We'll see some fireworks, I'm sure.
Evan Lapice was one of the Chihuahuas with Maurice Irby because of their size. They're so small. Off the spin, just shy of the 30-yard line, was the ball carrier. Dan Olivier on the season, 1,260 yards, 18 touchdowns. Last year, guys, he was blocking for Kevin Allen. High snap, gathered in, going underneath, off that cutback. That's one of the Chihuahuas. That's Maurice Irby, just shy of the 15-yard line.
They're really working that middle. They really want to establish a running game, and they want to see who can win the war up front. Right now, Freeport's moving the ball. That's a big run.
I love the play of right tackle number 73, Terrell Brown, senior, 6'2", 255, just locked and pushed, and Danny steps right in behind it.
You know, you talk about Terrell Brown, Mike, 3-year, two-way starter, two-time All-County. He's powerful, he's quick, he's smart, he's headed to Bryant, big number 73.
Now they've pounded the middle on successive plays, 6-7 plays in a row. We have not seen Freeport go to the edge or go to the air. Do they go away from what's worked to get them inside the red zone here?
Split out top of the screen, Lapice 10, Irby 14, that's Irby in motion. Barnes gives to Irby. Irby's got a hole and then pulled down from behind. Nice play there by number 44, Mike Palmer.
Last weekend in the victory over Syosset in the semifinals, 39-25, those two guys for Freeport, Barnes and Irby, did such a great job with the handoff execution. Barnes had some beautiful play fakes. What Irby did, he made guys tackle him, Greg, last week in that Syosset game, and Barnes just stepped away and ran naked the other way.
Well, the Freeport front is doing a great job at this point. They're getting their backs into the second level. Mike Palmer's having a heck of a game. He's already got 5 tackles, but he's going to be one tired dude when we're all done.
Russ Sellen a bit upset. Signals might have been crossed, and Freeport calls for time with 5:40 left in this scoreless first quarter of the Nassau County Conference 1 championship game. And these are two of our top 25 teams, Mike Quick.
Yeah, here's your top 10. The 2 Long Island teams that are represented, St. Anthony's out of the CHSFL. They'll take on Iona Prep on Saturday, a game you can see on Varsity on Sunday. Sachem North live tomorrow night on Friday Night Football, Division I championship, Greg. And there's the guys, Freeport and Farmingdale, 13-16. And I will say this, don't get caught up in that 8-2 record, because they beat East Meadow week 2. I don't care what the score says. They beat East Meadow in week 2, and give them a lot of credit. That was one of the reasons that I wanted to watch them against Freeport that following week, see how they would bounce back by those calls at the end of the game that cost them. They bounced back well. Their only real loss was to Oceanside, 41-17. They avenged that last weekend, 42-20.
Well, guys, these two teams have met 34 times in their long, rich history. Farmingdale leads at 18-16. That's how evenly matched they are. Barnes, and dropping it was Jeray Brown. Might have looked to turn before he actually hauled it in, Greg.
Great coverage by Brian Prendergast. He also had the tackle on the opening kickoff. We didn't mention that earlier in the game, but he is a lockdown corner. He does a great job. There was really nowhere to run. He took his eyes off the pass, and that's why we have an incompletion. And now we face 4th down and long. And you can bet Freeport is going for this.
Hey, you know, Russ will take that. This guy's a perfectionist, but that incomplete, he'll take it because the officials missed a penalty. There were 2 men in motion at the time of the snap. So that one, hey, didn't work, but I'll take it instead of the loss of 5.
By the way, the officials, referee Bob Miller, Elvin Brown, Lowell Citron, Steve DeLillo, and Tom O'Connor working the field tonight. Barnes with time, drills over the middle, flag is thrown. It will be called on Pat Stark. It'll be interference. Jeray Brown went down.
It looked like they had their feet tangled. It was incidental contact. He actually had good coverage on him. Freeport loves to run that drag, that cross from left to right. in front of the quarterback. He waits for him to clear the defense and come into the middle of the end zone. And scored a big touchdown last week on the same play, and it looked like Stark got his feet tangled up there. That's too bad because he had good coverage there, and that probably wasn't going to be a complete pass.
There was good coverage across the board. As you said, they got into their drops real well. They ran with all the receivers.
Defense, number 4. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Here you go, Barnes out of the gun. You could see he has some time to throw, but there's great coverage. You could see it on that look. There were guys running with everybody in the back of that end zone. That's a tough break for Farmingdale. As you said, Greg, that ball was going to be overthrown. But again, in high school, they could have thrown that thing out on Hempstead Turnpike. It's still a penalty.
You know, you saw the referee, Bob Miller, the umpire working the game tonight, Elvin Brown. And for Nassau County and Long Island football fans, Greg Sarah, that's the former great back from Sewanaka High School.
A Thorpe finalist, a tremendous football player in his day. Now he's crossed over and he's an official and he does a wonderful job.
First and goal from the 7. Olivier straight up the gut, spinning, denied, about a half a yard shy of popping home the game's first score.
Well, right now, red is winning the battle up front against white. This is Olivier just getting in behind. Look at the crushing block by number 60. Ward, 6 feet, 275. Guy wants to be a microbiologist, and he was doing some dissecting right there with that Daler front line. That is a big old fella who's doing it on the field and in the classroom.
Two-way starter, all county this year. Barnes over center. Barnes on the quarterback sneak. Barnes is denied. Loose football, and let's wait. Referee Bob Miller says it's Farmingdale football.
Oh, that's a tough break for Freeport. I thought his momentum was stopped and they should have stopped the play. But when you fight for that extra yardage, the officials give you that benefit of the doubt and they let the play continue, and he was stripped.
Well, you know, the first time I watched these guys play this year, number 39 jumped out right off the field for Coach Stengel and I. We love Carl Brescia. Look at him, he just gets after it, no whistle. So what does he do? He stops momentum, strips, and recovers. That's a football player's football player.
Because what do they tell you in practice all the time? Play to the whistle, and he punched that ball out of there. He ripped it out of there. That's a huge play. They get a bad break on the pass interference, but they make their own break on the strip.
With more on Carl Brescia to the sidelines, here's Amanda Balionis.
Thanks, Carl. Yeah, Carl Brescia, man, he can do it on the field, but in the classroom, he is just as talented. He's actually looking at Ivy League schools because he wants to be an orthopedic surgeon when he grows up. He wants to be involved in student internship at Franklin General Hospital after this season over. So, guys, you could be watching a doctor.
It's not too bad. Brescia, 6'2", 215 senior, Greg.
Why not? He extracted the football, didn't he?
You know, one of the things when you talk to Coach Krummenacker, guys, about Kevin Wall, he says, listen, he's a tough runner. He'll get out of that pile. Says his eyes are what makes him work. And you could see right there, the little dance step right there. Those peepers, that's what makes him go.
Tuttle, give the ball off. Dropped immediately, the ball carrier, Kevin Wall. That was on a 2nd down and 8, inside 4 minutes left, first quarter.
Nice job by Cephas Ward clogging the hole. And it seems like Freeport is winning the battle up front, offensively and defensively. We'll see what Coach Krummenacker comes up here on 3rd and about 5. And I don't know that he goes to the pass here, Mike. Do you think he opens it up here inside the 10?
You know, I do. I think, you know what? It's a championship game. I think he'll throw it. He's not worried about the way he throws the football. That first hit is going to worry him, and here we go.
That's what offensive coordinator Pete Malloy was worrying about, and that was the hit right there. Phil Stevenson, 61, 6'3", 245. Nice play, bringing down Tuttle.
All right, here's the key, and I talked about this with coaches yesterday over at Farmingdale. That is key. First big piece of contact, he gets right up. Gets it out of the cobwebs, and now he can just go play.
A lot of penetration on that play, and he really didn't have a chance. That play never got a chance to develop.
Justin Martin to kick. Pretty good kick. Jeray Brown from the 43. Lot of open field coming to the near side. Jeray Brown to the 30, to the 25, to the 15 off the cutback. Jeray Brown finds the paint on the punt return of 43 yards, and Freeport strikes first.
And just when you thought there was no scoring here in the first quarter, you get a big play on what special teams. Again, great blocking on the perimeter. Everybody has an assignment. He brings it back all the way across the field, follows his blocks. He's patient. He waits. And I'll tell you what, great job. No clips, no blocks in the back, and a great cutback across the field and to the house. Touchdown. What a great run.
Well, you know, this kid has been around the Freeport program longer than anybody as Sandoval gets set to kick it, Carl. He's been around this program since he's 5 years old. Has driven Coach crazy. Through the years, he's always in his way. The reason he's around, if you know Freeport football, there's always an assistant coach on the sidelines who's half naked. Doesn't matter if it's 90 degrees out or 20 below. That's his dad, Keith. He helps out here at Freeport. He's the guy who's all jacked up. But Russ Selin loves Brown, loves him, pumped up to have him around. Great picture of him in the hallways of Freeport on that 2003 Long Island championship team, the little ball boy. Just an incredible picture.
You know, Mike, this is a guy who Russ Selin said just flat out makes things happen. He said he will deplete you when he gets the ball. Speaking about Jeray Brown, who, by the way, had that great kickoff return last game, regular season against Oceanside.
That was another classic game. Best two football games I've seen this year, Carl. Conference 1 throughout the tri-state. Oceanside, Freeport, Farmingdale. Both 3-point games, and there's Keith. Look at that man, giving his son a little pat, and that dude is jacked up.
You know, I saw him on the field before the game, and I said to Toby Elmore, one of the coaches who played here at Hofstra, I said, why is he wearing a jacket? He goes, pre-game ritual. Wears a jacket, takes it off when the game starts.
Hey, speaking of pre-game rituals, last week I was in the locker room before the Syosset game. Toby Elmore telling the guys, breathe, take it all in. Being in a Freeport locker room before the game's about as good as it gets.
I'm a little surprised to see KB with a cap on. Usually he's going bald on there. He doesn't want anybody to see that. He's tough. He's all tough.
So Freeport opens the scoring with 2:36 left. First quarter, 43-yard punt return. Jeray Brown. This is Edward Sandoval who will kick off. He's a soccer player. I said, Russ, to Russ Selin, the coach, are his shoes bright enough? He said, will they leave me alone? He's a kicker. They're in their own world.
Drove Coach nuts last week. You've been doing well all season. He comes out to kick off. He starts doing the Macarena.
Yeah.
It's like, what's wrong with you? Just keep doing what you've been doing all year. Goes, the kid drives me crazy, but he's had some big kicks for them this year.
They were doing a few Oklahoma drills before the game, warming up, a couple hits. He comes up, he hits Olivier, he cracks him in the one-on-one drill. Olivier looks at him like, okay, game's on. He goes, it's always on with a kicker, because they don't know what they're doing.
So the Freeport Red Devils, Long Island Class 1 champs in 2000, 2005, and defending, or trying to defend that title of a year ago, up by the count of 7-0 from Seward Stadium, campus of Hofstra University, Hempstead, Long Island. Sandoval meets the football. This is Pat Stark on a hop from the 8. Pat Stark, far side, has some room. Pat Stark is driven out of bounds just shy of the 30-yard line. Well, guys, guess what? A week away, Thanksgiving. That's a time for family, pumpkin pie, and precision stepping. So join us this Thanksgiving for a celebration of all things marching band, featuring over 40 schools from across Long Island. The Marching Bands, a special 3-part presentation this Thanksgiving weekend, only on MSG Varsity, another Optimum exclusive. Schultz, the catch, immediately dropped by Cedric Smiley.
A little bit better starting field position. Mike not inside the red zone. He has a little bit of green to work with here. I'm not surprised he went vertical, horizontal with his first pass and not down the field. Should probably loosen him up a little bit. bring the backs up a little, maybe try to hit him inside with a run.
You know what impressed me on that play, Greg? That's Smiley. He's a sophomore. He's the only sophomore that's going to see the field tonight for either team. Farmingdale is loaded with seniors, only one junior. Ward. Smiley, when you're a sophomore and you start for Freeport, you got something.
Second down and 5, right side of that Freeport line move. Number 61, Phil Stevenson. Again, the referee is Bob Miller.
That'll put him right at the first down marker.
Number 61, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Once again, the aerial footage tonight provided by the News 12 networks. There's a great view of Schuart Stadium, Hofstra University.
Great to see football being played at Hofstra again.
Absolutely right. Schuart Stadium, named after the former president here, Dr. James M. Schuart. Kevin Wall bounces, goes to the left, tries to get to the outside far side. He's got some room. Kevin Wall down to the 30, knocked out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. A huge run by Kevin Wall.
One of the things both these teams do very well is their wideouts block. And watch Stark come into your frame right there. He kicks him in. Wall gets outside of him. Both these teams, their receivers do such a good job. There's Prendergast down the field, and you can see Stark fly into your frame right there. That's it. That's coaching, and that's kids believing. And there's Patty Stark, known for his hands, but they're known for his physicality.
That play went for 38 yards. Now Tuttle drills. There's Schultz still fighting for some extra yardage. Gets it down to the 17-yard line, a pickup of 9.
And as long as they play loose on that defense, he's going to continue to throw the ball for short yardage, pick up 5, 6 at a pop, and try to bring that defense up a little closer.
You know, Greg, very interesting yesterday at practice because of the shoulder. And, you know, it's a little gimpy. They thought that Sal's mechanics will be better tonight because he'll actually have to lead more when he throws now and get his whole body into the throws.
Ball, first down, still driving forward. They'll move the stick, so they'll stop the clock momentarily with 33.2 remaining in this first quarter. 7-0 Freeport, 43-yard punt return by Jeray Brown of the Red Devils.
You got to like this drive, the way they've put this together, mixing the run with the pass, keeping them off bounds. Great cutback run by Wall, following a couple nice blocks. This is a nicely executed drive.
Low snap, Tuttle gets it, Tuttle's flush, Tuttle throws on the run. Touchdown, Pat Stark! Thirteen-yard scoring strike, Tuttle to Stark, the point after upcoming.
And the beauty of this pass is he looks him inside the defense and he's patient and he's not open and he doesn't clear and then he goes back to the out. It's almost like a post corner of only 13 yards. That's a great job by Stark, realizing that he's not open inside and going outside, and by the quarterback, Sal Tuttle.
Well, you know what? These guys have been playing together since they're 9 years old, 2002, the Farmingdale Hawks. So you know, pitch and catch, these guys can do it because you saw the patience there. And when Stark ran the in cut, they jumped it, so he peeled it out. That was going to be a skinny post coming up right here. And watch it right here. He's going to come in, and then he puts his hand up, and he calls for the ball to the outside shoulder. That's a great job by the guys in the truck. That's a great job by Stark and his buddy Tuttle, always knowing what each other's going to do on the field.
Sal Tuttle will be attending Hofstra University next fall to play lacrosse here for Seth Tierney. He's quite the athlete, Greg.
You have to love the way he orchestrated that drive down the field. Composure. That play right there was a microcosm of the drive. And Mike is right. All quarterbacks want to make that post corner throw because it's a safe throw into the corner of the end zone. The only one that can catch it when you lead the guy properly is your receiver.
Well, the last time these two teams got together, the last score of the game was Tuttle to Stark, 35 seconds left. That was an 11-play, 89-yard drive in 2.5 minutes. This one not as far, but that day, Tuttle did it with his arm, his legs, and we saw a little bit of that right there. This kid, he doesn't look big, but if you stand next to him, he's a lot bigger. I'll tell you, you know who's got to be feeling great right now? His mom, Anna. I know she was worried last night because, you know, I saw his dad, Chris, over at practice yesterday, and Chris was like, yeah, he's going to be okay. The doctors have cleared him. I just got to get it through the boss to make sure she'll let him play. So everything is good, and the King has put the crown on. He's ready to go.
Greg Catalano to kick it off. Jeray Brown from the 5. To the 20 with a burst. Jeray Brown near side. To the 40. Cutback. Ran into his own guy. Still on his feet. Knocked down at the 25-yard line. Oh, Jeray Brown is Mr. Excitement on runbacks.
What a block by Errol Small. He absolutely flattened his guy in the middle of the field and opened up that lane. Boom! Look at that block.
This a 70-yard return on the kickoff. We're tied at 7 after 1.
Think you've got all the answers? Think you've got what it takes? Then think fast and get ready to take the challenge.
I'm Jared Cotter, and on the next episode of The Challenge, the Bronx is represented as Harry S. Truman High battles Mount St. Ursula for intellectual bragging rights.
The Challenge, only on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive.
Yes, I use Facebook and Twitter, but there are times when only a phone call will do. That's why I have Optimum Voice World Call. Like when I called my sister in England and found out that I was going to be an uncle. And since I only pay $19.95 more a month, I can call my friend the chef in the Philippines. His curry mango tilapia recipe is the best. And for matters of the heart, I call my psychic in Jamaica. I hear my future crystal clear.
Call now, 866-699-3927, and get Optimum Voice World Call today.
Girls volleyball electrifies Long Island as the Belport Clippers clash with the Wantor Warriors. A non-stop event you can catch right here on High School Sports Showcase on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive.
High School Journal brings you the high school experience with even more depth in high definition. For all things high school, catch High School Journal only on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive.
Time for the High School Sports Desk Scoreboard Update. I'm Shauna Ryan, talking about games elsewhere in the Tri-State. We stay on Long Island to talk about a Suffolk County Division III final between Sayville and Islip. This one's still scoreless in the first quarter. We'll keep you updated throughout the night. And remember, tomorrow night, we have live double coverage on Long Island. 7th-ranked Sachem North takes on William Floyd in Suffolk Division I final. And in Connecticut, it's the FCX Championship game. Number 24, Darien battles Trumbull. Now let's send it back out to Hofstra University. Farmingdale taking on Freeport.
Welcome back to a special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Football. We are still live and we are in HD. Right now we are all tied up at 7 at the top of the second quarter, and I am joined by Freeport's Deborah McQuillan. She is the president of the Board of Education. And Deborah, this is such a great community and you have such a great football program, but there's so much more to this school than football. What are some of the other programs that you're really proud of?
Well, we're proud of many things. Our arts and education program is probably second to none. We have just in the next couple of weeks, the Dodd Select Chorale, Atkinson Select Chorale, and the Freeport High School Select Chorale will be performing at Carnegie Hall and Radio City Music Hall. And this is a direct reflection of our community supporting our students and our teams, which is the heart and soul of our community.
Radio City Music Hall. That is pretty impressive. Yeah. And, you know, this football program has been strong for so long, but it kind of takes a village to get this all together. What about your community?
I have one of the most amazing communities. We support each other, and they invest in education. When education is under attack, they come to the call of action, and they invest in these students.
thank you so much for joining us and enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
First play, second quarter, Jeray Brown. Unbelievable to change directions here.
Well, he gets a good block by Irby initially, and then maybe got a clip in there, but look at the dancing. Boy, he is having himself a night. 5 years old, he's been around this program since he was 5, and number 5 putting on a show.
Now I know why Russ Selland, head coach of Freeport, said he will deplete you. Evan Lapice in motion. Barnes tries to spin, gets to the outside, looking for the cone. And I don't think he got in. He's dropped just shy inside the 1.
It starts out, Greg. Play really doesn't work. Now here's the spin move. Lapice comes back, gets a block. Brown gets a little bit, and Brown's lucky he got away with that.
Well, he held up there, or he would have
did.
been hit with a clip.
Yeah.
And that was smart that he laid off. But it was a good job running the ball in that play. And, you know, there was really nothing going on the play. It was a read option, and there was nothing happening inside. He took it to the edge, and he got a few yards, so it worked out pretty good.
So Barnes, who threw for 62% on the year, 15 touchdowns, only 2 INTs, has his team now 2nd and goal from the 1. Well, I'll tell you, Jeff Williams got off his mark real fast. No flag was thrown, but it's a touchdown for Freeport from a yard out. Dan Olivier.
It's just a simple blast right up the middle. My man, Dan Olivier.
I tell you, Carl's right, because Jeff Williams, he got away with one, man. He was already at the 2nd level when the ball was snapped.
Arena football, he was going forward. Sandoval for the extra point. Jeray Brown will hold. Extra point good. 14-7 in favor of Freeport. 19th rushing touchdown this year, Dan Olivier.
This is just a straight out blast. Big time movement on the line. Ken Berryhill with a great block. He actually cleared out the left side of that line earlier in the drive. Watch number 72, Ken Berryhill with a big block here. There's a big hole. He just walks that in. And there's our guy, Cephas Ward, doing another great job inside. It's a tough side of the line, Mike. Those guys are moving people off the front, and they are winning the war.
You know who's going to be pumped up about that the big guys are doing a job tonight? Bonnie Ashley. She's the forensics teacher at Freeport High School. She's got a bunch of the big dudes in her class.
Cephas Ward is a smart kid.
Yeah, very smart. And she's so proud of their football accomplishments, but she loves the fact all she wanted to do when I was in the front office yesterday was talk about what they're doing in the classroom and these moon pies that she gives them. She gives them moon pies. She says it gives them energy. She makes all the guys eat the moon pie and then touch the moon pie. I didn't know what she was talking about, but it was so good. I'm like, you know what? If it works, go ahead.
Is a moon pie with marshmallow and
I think so.
graham cracker crust?
What
and
a great!
I've never had one, but I think they're pretty good.
What a great lady. Newtown High School from New York City. That's where she went. Her son's at the Citadel. She's a beautiful lady, and they're lucky to have her at Freeport.
I was impressed with Cephas Ward last week. We interviewed him after the game, and he was outstanding after the game and very articulate. The kid was just one of the better interviews of the year.
You saw Russ Selland, 24th year. I said, hey, Russ, 1986, your first season. What was your record? He goes, 5-3. Just like that. He went right back to 1986. He knew 5-3. Here's a guy who played football at CW Post. His 2 coaches, Dom Annealy and the late, great Tommy Marshall. Dom Annealy, of course, got hooked into the pros and all that type of stuff, Cleveland Browns, but he played for 2 wonderful people over at CW Post.
You know, when he was at Lindenhurst High School, you know who his first coach was? Bernie Wyatt.
No kidding.
Yeah, the legendary guy who went out to Wisconsin, did so many special things out there.
And Buddy Krummenacher over at Farmingdale High School, well, we know who he played for, and he's up here in the press box. That's Don Snyder. Mike, you and I have talked about it. They've had 2 coaches for about 45 years.
They are so lucky over there. And you know, it's funny, when I was talking to Coach yesterday, you forget that when he took over at Hempstead High School, Hempstead was a Conference 3 school struggling to win games. He turned that around in a hurry.
Prendergast. dropped at the 24-yard line. High School Sports Desk brings you an hour of the latest in high school sports. Join Jared Greenberg and Sean Ryan live for a full hour of all the sports and stories in the tri-state area. For the most up-to-date coverage of high school sports, tune into High School Sports Desk weeknights at 6 p.m. and immediately following the game, only on MSG Varsity. And again, the aerial footage provided by News 12 Networks. Look who that is.
Hey, you know
that is Matt McLeese, athletic director, Cary High School.
And you know who he's standing next to?
Go ahead.
Is Mike Sellen. And you know who the happiest person here is tonight at Hofstra? Is Carl. There's Tuttle, gets forced out of the pocket. You know who the happiest person here is tonight? Sharon Sellen. Russ's wife and Mike's mom. Because you know why? You combine Freeport and Cary High School, and you got a 19-1 home.
That's not a bad home.
Things are going good over there.
I'll tell you, they're going real good over at Cary High School because Cary will be playing right here on this field noon on Saturday for the Conference 2 championship against Tom Flatley and the Trojans from Garden City. And Mike Stanley, he's got one heck of a team this year, led by the quarterback Kyle Sorotka, defensively linebacker John Didino. That is a well-oiled machine, that Cary team.
Threw it great last week with Stevie Marino, 3 touchdown passes. Going to be a good game. I'll tell you this. Now, you guys have been around this a lot longer than I am. I'm a Connecticut guy. No, I'm a Connecticut guy. Okay, but I don't know if you've ever had on the island 8 better matchups on championship weekend.
I would have to agree with that. All 8 games are pretty much toss-up games. The only game which is kind of ironic is Floyd-Sachem North, where Floyd is a decided underdog, and they've been one of the better teams in the last 10 years, maybe the best team in the last 10 years.
Well, here were the brackets for Nassau County Conference 1. You see how the breakdown of how we got to here with number 1 against number 3, Freeport and Farmingdale.
Hey, Carl, let's go back to that 3-6 game, 24-22.
Yeah.
MacArthur, Coach Fehrenbach's guys almost got Farmingdale. Field goal, 39 yards, wide left as time ran out.
Bob Fehrenbach does a tremendous job as the football coach over there at MacArthur High School for the Generals.
Scared Freeport this year, second to last regular season game.
On 2nd and 9, Tuttle steps up, drills over the middle. He's got Schultz, who's ducked at midfield. That's a 24-yard pickup for number 24.
Well, Freeport dropped back in a cover 3, and I don't know why they're playing so many guys out in center field, but he just got him on a drag, crossed the middle of the field for about 18 yards, and he was wide open coming from the top of your screen, right to left. And a good read and a step up into the pocket and a great throw led him beautifully across the field.
You know, out at practice yesterday, Coach Krumenacker said, hey, Russ always plays us off. He just wants to prevent the home run pass. Good job coming underneath.
We'll go back to the ground with Kevin Wall. Look at him surge forward to the 41. That is as tough a 9-yard pickup you will see on a high school level.
And that's the Wall we saw last week, getting yards after contact. His initial hit, every time he gets hit, you can expect he's going to pick up a couple of more yards. His turn, just the way he gets through the defender, and that was a perfect example of the way he runs the ball. Very, very tough.
2nd and 1 for Farmingdale, down 14-7 to Freeport for the Nassau County Conference 1 championship. The winner moves on to the Long Island championship. Tuttle dragged down from behind by Jeff Williams, a 3-year starter who does everything for this team with help from number 4, Jalil Burton, a first-year starter.
Watch 21, Olivier. He makes Tuttle bounce it to the outside. Then he gets help from 7 and 4. Olivier, got to remember, last year he was a great rush defensive end. He knows how to play defense.
Well, he just found the lane and shot through that Farmingdale offensive front. Great penetration, forced Tuttle outside to the edge, and it was a foot race to the perimeter, and he didn't get there quick enough. He was run down.
Loss of 2, 3rd and 3 for Farmingdale from the 43 of Freeport. Little play action with Tuttle. Some happy feet, drills it. Schultz laying it out, but he could not catch up to it. It's 4th and 3 for Farmingdale.
Double coverage on the play. A good job by the Freeport defense. You see he's double covered out in the flat. He even tried to double back and go to the out and find some space and create space so he could make that throw, but the throw was just a little bit wide. Great job by the receiver for working with the quarterback. Vinny Schultz, number 24, did an excellent job of working his way open and giving Tuttle a shot to complete the pass.
Farmingdale will kick with Justin Martin. Mr. Danger, Jeray Brown, standing at his own 11-yard line. Returned the punt 43 yards for a touchdown. Had a kickoff return, set up Freeport for the second touchdown of 70 yards. And this is a great job. That one rolls out of bounds, Mike Quick, at the 4-yard line. So a 39-yard kick. More importantly, no return.
Carl, I love it. Mr. Danger. That is a nickname. Mr. Danger. And I'll tell you, I don't know why you would kick to number 5 the rest of the night. But, you know, on kickoffs, though, you don't kick to 5, you got to kick to 10. And 10 returned one for you earlier this year against Farmingdale. So these guys are loaded with little big men in a lot of their skill positions.
You don't get to talk much about the punters, but Justin Martin right there did a great job kicking away from Mr. Danger and making it so that it was a non-play. So I'm sure Mr. Brown isn't happy with that.
Mr. Danger, Jeray Brown, split out top of the screen with trips to the bottom. Isaiah Barnes is flushed and chased and wisely throws it out of bounds. He was being harassed there by number 75, Matt Sommer, at 5'9", 250, the big senior.
Farmingdale coaching staff is looking for a safety because they didn't feel there was a receiver in the vicinity of the throw, and they want to know who he's throwing the ball to under heavy pressure.
Also, Chris Diorio, number 50, got in there. He's just recovered from a broken thumb. Diorio for Farmingdale. There he is. See that little pad on that left arm, actually the left wrist. Second down and 10. 8:53 remaining in a very, very good first half of football. Olivier, bounce back over the middle. Across the 10 to the 13-yard line, gain of about 9 yards.
You know, Buddy Krumenacker, he lives, his football adage is play at 4-second intervals. Today, he wanted his guys to play at 5. He said because the first 2 seconds, you get locked up. And then what are you going to do? Right there, it was the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th second that Terrell Brown beat the Farmingdale defensive line. He stayed engaged and drove.
Great point, Mikey. He sealed the linebacker, Carl Brescher, away from the runner that to gain those extra 3 yards.
Loose football, and I believe Isaiah Barnes might have fallen on it, but let's wait for the official call from Bob Miller, the referee. And it is Barnes who recovers. He's fighting there, I think, with number 60, Andrew Joy of Farmingdale, but Barnes does pick it up.
And it was a high snap, came down, never really got started. Had to go up, came down, nothing there. Boy, how good does that punt look now, Greg?
Oh, that looks real good. Now it's up to Edwin Sandoval to match punts with Justin Martin.
Sandoval gets off a booming kick, driving Prendergast back. He recovered, and then he spilled at the 43-yard line. And at that point in time, lucky to gather it back in and keep possession.
How many times this year do you think Edwin Sandoval had to kick from his own end zone?
Probably this was the first time.
And he came, it was magnificent. What a kick.
Yeah, it's a great point, Greg, because you have to understand, Freeport High School only 2 times this year did not score more than 40 points in a game. One time, they had 39 against this green and white team.
Real nice downfield coverage. Errol Small. He doesn't play small, does he,
No,
Carl?
he plays very big on the season for the first-year starter for Freeport. 51 tackles coming in, 2 sacks, 5'8", 185. He's a junior. Running game with Kevin Wall. Boy, you know, he epitomizes Mike Quick as he gets to the 47. Give him 4 of the running back who keeps those legs moving.
Just keeps going. And you know, in that wild shootout in week 3, the big play he made in that game was the screen pass. They shut him down. They took him out of that game. That's what allowed Tuttle that night the 397 yards of offense. They keyed on stopping 32, and it was 11 that burned the red and white.
Second down and 5. Both sides, the left side and the right side for Freeport jumping. This will be marked off and will be very close to a first down if it's against the Red Devils. Again, the referee is Bob Miller, a veteran official here in Nassau County. We'll get his call. Freeport up 14-7. Now here's Bob Miller.
Encroachment, defense, number 54. It's a 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
54 being Oscar Bruce for Russ Sellen's team.
I know Russ wants to get some momentum going here, but I'd probably challenge that for a measurement. That's real close.
Well, they've got it as second and very short. Going forward is Prendergast off the cutback far side. He's being chased by Burton, but nobody's getting Prendergast. Takes it in from 47 yards out, and Farmingdale back to within 1.
Well, he'll be playing lacrosse for Towson, but right now he's playing the role of big-time running back, known more for his receiving skills, steps to the outside, dances his way to the end zone. Coach K says he does it all for us. Well, he sure did right there.
The point after by Greg Catalano. And this Nassau County Conference Run Championship game, with the winner moving on to the Long Island Championship, is tied at 14.
Watch the line play, number 54, the center, Ryan Kelly, on the kick-out block, frees Prendergast, and he's off to the races. Great job up front.
How about pulling away Prendergast from Jalil Burton, who was on his tail momentarily, but Prendergast able to break away.
Carl, these guys in red, they know this kid Prendergast can run. In that week 3 game, had a big 80-yard punt return in the 4th quarter. That's really got all the craziness started that day over at Freeport High School. He's got great feet, and as Coach K says, does it all for us.
It's a shame this game has been lacking big plays so far, right?
And then we thought they were off to a slow start the first 8 minutes in, right?
Well, if you subtract from the first 8 minutes, you got 28 points up in the next 10 minutes. There's the Farmingdale Daler. Once again, aerial footage provided by the News 12 Network. A great shot of Seward Stadium, the campus of Hofstra University, Hempstead, New York, right here in Nassau County, across from the Nassau Coliseum, Roosevelt Field, right down the block. I know Mike Quick went shopping before the game, stepped off there, maybe did a little early Christmas shopping.
Nah, Mike Quick was stuck in some serious traffic coming here from Connecticut. Tomorrow night, Buddy Krumenacker or Russ Sellen will be with you guys out at Stony Brook to watch the Suffolk Division I Championship. Winner of this game gets the winner of Floyd and number 7, Sachem North.
So Farmingdale will kick. Having tied it at 14 is Catalano. It's a short kick. And Evan Lapice chased it down and stepped out. No, he stayed in bounds, and then he was driven down inside the 15-yard line. A little indecision right there by Lapice.
Sorry, Mike. Very effective kick. Very effective little pooch kick. Just enough to get over the second level, and just before the receivers. It makes it tough. He was indecisive at the sideline. Do I catch it? Do I let it go out of bounds? But if he doesn't pick that ball up, that's a live ball. That could have been a turnover.
Thanksgiving is a time for family pumpkin pie and precision stepping. So join us this Thanksgiving for a celebration of all things marching band. Featuring over 40 schools from across Long Island. The Marching Band's a special 3-part presentation this Thanksgiving weekend only on MSG Varsity, another Optimum exclusive. Trying to escape, got up to the 15-yard line. The ball carrier was Jeray Brown, brought down number 9, Brian Prendergast.
Here it is, just a little inside give. Now, a week ago when they run that play, That's when Barnes was so effective. They ran it with Irby a lot last week, and he would pull it back. And Irby being so small, everybody jumped Irby, and Barnes was able to step outside. You know, one of the things Russ Selin told me yesterday over at the school was that Isaiah Barnes doesn't always do the right thing that we tell him during practice because he sees the way things change. He changes on his own. He likes that about him.
Last week, Barnes had 122 yards rushing. How about this rush off the spin over the 35-yard line? Dan Olivier. Play started at the 16. He's dropped at the 36. It's a gain of 20.
Watch Cephas Ward blocking downfield. He can't even find people. He's looking all over the place. He gets all the way out to the safety to throw a block. And that's what Mike was talking about earlier. These guys want 4 seconds of blocking, not 2. Get downfield and find someone to hit.
There is Cephas Ward. As Mike Quick told you earlier in this game, he wants to be a microbiologist. He's one of the captains of this Freeport team. Motion Lapice. Lapice takes the handoff, and Lapice maybe a yard to the 38-yard line.
Now the read on that play for him, on that read option, is if he doesn't give that and looks back to his right, number 60, Andrew Joy, is on the right side. He did not contain on that play, but chose to follow the play.
Yeah, big number 58, Greg Tenney, does a good job. Brandon Tenney, he's the only two-way lineman for Coach Krummenacker. Does a good job, and again, tackled low, as they talked about in practice yesterday. You've got to tackle low.
Absolutely, and stayed on his legs. But let's see if Barnes noticed that there was no contain on his right side, the left side of the defense.
Second down and 9. Motion is Irby. Handoff Olivier. And he is brought down there by number 44, Mike Palmer, number 60, Andrew Joy for Farmingdale.
You know, a week ago in the Syosset game, standing down on the sideline watching it, and I thought that Freeport had the long ball available all day. Wonder if they're playing a little cat and mouse game here, sucking everybody up on Farmingdale, because this team has the ability to hit on the long post.
It also looks like he's committed to running the ball inside and chewing up as much of that second quarter clock as possible, so as Farmingdale does not get the ball back.
And that clock, less than 3.5 remaining in a tie game here in the first half. Barnes looking for Williams for a side. A spectacular catch by Jeff Williams, and the two of you just called it. Sucking him in, going deep.
You know, I said to Rush yesterday, I said, you know, Jeff Williams is such an explosive player. The first game of the season this year against Baldwin, he was absolutely spectacular on both sides of the ball. He says without question, he's the one guy on this team that if we lost, we are in major trouble. That's how much he loves his captain, Jeff Williams.
And you thought he was going to have a huge game tonight. You might be right. That was a tremendous catch in double coverage. Eric Sauer, you could not have had better coverage, and Pat Starr come over to help out, but it was a well-thrown ball. Only his man can make that catch.
Pickup of 36 yards. Again, Barnes wants to throw, looking to right. Mr. Danger's got a touchdown. Jeray Brown taking it in from 22 yards out.
You know, I think what they're doing here is they're using their run. If this was a prize fight, they're using the run game to take you in the body time and time again. And now they're saying, let's go. You're back on your heels. It's late in the round. We're going for the knockout.
Well, they worked that midsection all game, and you hit it right on the head. It was time to go deep, and he had 2 big passes in a row, and now they have the 7-point lead.
Extra point, Edward Sandoval, and it's 21-14 in favor of Freeport now.
What a great throw on a wheel route. Looks left, and he comes back to the right, and his receiver's right in between the defense. Perfect pattern, well-thrown ball. Nothing the defense could do there.
It's amazing. We talked about it earlier, how far he came in just a year. They thought a year ago when Paul Ketchens got hurt that they would be able to use him as a sophomore quarterback against Baldwin in the semifinals, come out with Kevin Allen. Puts it on the ground right away. They said, let's go to Barnes. Coach saw in his eyes, wasn't ready. They go back to Allen, and the rest is history. What he did in his final 3 games last year, Kevin Allen, 34-20 in this game, almost 400 all-purpose yards, and then out on to William Floyd in the Long Island Championship. There's Keith. He's got the little cap on tonight. Yeah.
I'm shocked. He's a Marine. He's a tough guy. I don't know why he's got the cap on.
So, Greg, let me ask you, last team that has the ball wins this game? Is that the way we're going right now?
That's what it looks like, Carl. It's one of those shootouts that we all expected, but we will see some big defensive plays in the second half. You can bet somebody's going to step up on the defense and make the play of the game. But this has been exciting. The last 10 minutes has been great football, back and forth. Everything that we thought we're getting.
Again, Freeport, the #1 scoring team on Long Island this year, popped home 413 points, averaging 41.3. Farmingdale, guys, no slouch, 312 points, 31.2. Can you imagine scoring 31 a game and you're still 10 points less than your opponent and you're scoring a lot of 31 a game?
Because you gave up 222. Freeport gave up like 109. I'll tell you, if you like exciting football, there's no better place in the Tri-State than Conference 1. If you like offense. If you like defense, go somewhere else.
The deep men for Farmingdale, top of the screen, #9 will be Brian Prendergast. #4, bottom of the screen, Pat Stark. Kicking off, 35, Edwin Sandoval. From the 12-yard line, Stark tried to go outside, and he was stopped there nicely by #10, one of the Chihuahuas, Evan Lapice. Now, for the aerial view of the touchdown, and again, aerial footage provided by the News 12 networks. Here we go, guys.
Hey, if you're going to go up top, then you got to go up top with the News 12 replay. There it is. Gets inside the corner and the safety, and that's a good job by Barnes. Very patient, as you said.
And my favorite shot is of the offensive line and that pocket they created. 5 great blocks he had all day to throw. And that, you know what, that was a tribute to that offensive line, Mike.
Gave him that big old horseshoe to step into.
Tuttle is flush. Tuttle has some room. Tuttle looking for the chain. He's run out of bounds, a couple of yards shy. Once again, guys, the photographer up in the chopper is Brandon Klein, and our pilot is Ed Silmy. Great job by those two guys flying high above Seward Stadium here, campus of Hofstra University.
Klein's a tough guy getting up there, boy. First time I ever went up in a plane, I was at Sacred Heart. I was doing a story on traffic for our news magazine. I thought I was going to be sick for 3 days. Oh, boy, Klein's a tough guy up there, man. He's a good man, BK.
Pickup of 7. He's second down and 3 with Tuttle. They set up the little screen, and Kevin Wall has nothing but green in front of him. He breaks it to midfield, and he's knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Outstanding screen that was set up. Kevin Wall holds it in, takes care of business, going upfield for 32 yards.
Watch the block of Ryan Orabona, the left tackle, #71. He rides his block 15 yards downfield and clears the way. What a great job.
I've said it numerous times tonight, the ability that both of these teams' wideouts have to get involved in the play when it's not for them. Pat Stark he's got those long arms, those big hands. He just engages with people downfield to open up holes.
Catch is made inside the 35. That's Rodney Tarula, the 6'1", 190-pound senior who hauls it in. Off the bench, makes a reception. Talk about a cold guy coming in, doing the job.
We said it before, Mike, they're staying horizontal. Keep that defense off. Go for the 5 to 7 yards. Keep moving the ball downfield.
Well, I remember when the head coach of Farmingdale, wearing the green and white, was the head coach of the blue and white, the Hempstead Tigers. And wow, did he have a job over there. Won 4 cups with Hempstead, guys, 1984, 85, 86, and 88. had a 34-game win streak that was snapped by Uniondale. Buddy Krummenacher has been around a long time. He knows how to coach. He looks as good now as he did when I met him back in 1984.
He hasn't aged. His kids still play tough, but what I did not realize is when he took over at Hempstead, they were in the midst of a losing streak, playing Conference 3, getting whacked by New Hyde Park, getting whacked by Cary. The year before he took the job, they played New Hyde Park, the final game of the season.
Angelo Giuliani, the coach, won the Cup in '83 and '77.
And lost 56-6. Buddy comes in, Carl. The next year, they lose on opening day, 6-0. He always believes, as a young coach, there's that hump game that you play. His hump game came that following year when they took on Lynbrook in Conference 3. They beat Lynbrook, and at Hempstead, they never looked back, and they just kept moving up. Conference 1, 3, 2, 1, and history was made.
And became a #1 program, no matter where he's been, at Hempstead and over here now with Farmingdale. 2nd down and 3. Tuttle hands it off. They're looking for the first down, trying to drive forward there. I believe it's Kevin Wall, who's very, very close. Maybe a half a yard shy or so, depending on the spot. There is Kevin Wall. Almost 1,500 yards on the ground this year, 7.2 average, 23 touchdowns. We've got a third. They'll call it 1. We've got time with 1:27 on the clock. 21-14 Freeport over Farmingdale, Nassau County. Conference 1 championship on the line between these two great schools.
Listen, hey, listen.
Mike, your Buddy Krummenacher, 3rd and 1, minute 30 left. You've been successful throwing the ball, 0 pass, short pass, horizontal. Do you pump fake that and go deep?
I was just thinking that, a little play action.
No doubt. No
right
question.
Now you get a guy coming up looking for the pick 6, maybe for the glory of taking it to the house, in front of a big crowd, big spot. What is Russ Sellon telling Freeport? What is he saying to the defense? Do they stay back, be patient, or do they come up and man, jam him at the line? I mean, this right now is a little cat and mouse. This is a big possession. Obviously, both guys are looking at this as the last possession wins this game.
He's saying, guys, I'd rather give up the first down than give up the touchdown right here.
That's right.
Okay, let's stop them. Let's not get anybody behind us.
Once again, Carl Reuter along with Mike Quick, Greg Sarah, Amanda Balionis. We're here on a special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Football from Schuett Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University. Farmingdale and Freeport duking it out for the rights to move on to the Long Island Class 1 title game. This is the Nassau County Conference 1 Championship. Right up the gut! It's Kevin Wall for a touchdown from 30 yards out!
A year ago in this game, they were catching KW from behind. Not this time. Last year, the Freeport defense was able to run him down when he got into open space. Here, maybe they were all thinking play action like we talked about. Kevin Wall making a presence in this game.
PAT. Greg Catalano. We're tied at 21 with 1:25 left. 24th touchdown of the year for number 32, Kevin Wall.
You have to love the play call. It's just a simple read on the linebacker. The linebacker vacates, moves out in coverage. He gives it, and Wall is gone.
Check out number 89, Billy Raby. Makes a big-time block to spring Kevin Wall. That's a great job getting engaged with the second-level guy, just sealing him, and KW steps inside behind and goes into the end zone. Boy, this game stinks.
You know, I'm looking off to my left, and there's the first-year coach of Lawrence, the Golden Tornadoes, Joe Martellotti, came in there. He's got his team playing here tomorrow night in the Nassau County Conference 3 game against Steve LaCicero and the Lynbrook Owls, and that'll be another barn burner here tomorrow night.
That could be another game, 35-33. Another one of those.
How about 51-47?
Another treat.
Another basketball score.
Well, you did that game earlier this year, Carl. You know, the Fredericks boys for
tremendous.
Lawrence. That was a great play. They got stopped. They pitched it back. Brother to brother, off he goes. What was the final? 22-21.
Yeah.
1-point game.
Real good quarterback, too, over there with Samson Bialystock, too, for Lawrence.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. You have Lawrence Lindbrook. You have Garden City. Carey. That's a 26-14 game
Seaford
earlier.
Roosevelt.
Seaford Roosevelt, 21-20. It is truly amazing. It's great games across the board. East Islip,
Belport,
10-7. You know, Islip.
They play defense out in Suffolk.
Babylon. I'll tell you what, they better, because whoever wins this game, watch out, Sachem North.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you're going to see stuff you haven't seen yet this year.
You're going to see a spread that you haven't seen.
Absolutely. And we're already giving it to Sachem North. Longo's probably like, what's wrong with you, Greg Sarah?
Oh, wipe it. Evan Lapice still on his feet. Gets out of trouble. Brings it over the 30 to about the 33, 34-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Freeport Red Devils.
That was almost the problem. He broke away from a couple of would-be tacklers. And the problem with special teams sometimes is people stop. They think he's tackled. They stop. And right here, he gets away a couple times. Now watch this. He takes off again. Lucky Farmingdale, a few guys out on the perimeter. That could have been 80 yards to the house.
Well, in the first time they met, he went 85 yards to the end zone, from the scoreboard side to the Sunrise Highway side. And then they get the 2-point conversion, Barnes to Williams. They tie that thing up at, I think it was 35-35 at that point.
Let's remember Evan Lapice's brother Eric was an All-Long Island quarterback only a couple of years ago for this Freeport team. Motion is Irby. Irby takes, no he doesn't. There was a fake to Irby, and driving straight forward there was Isaiah Barnes. I apologize for that. Barnes brings it up to the 42-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and short for Freeport.
Hey buddy, no need to apologize, because last week twice on plays like this, Russ Sellen's like, nice run, Herb, and he didn't realize that Irby didn't have the ball, and there goes Barnes to the end zone.
Part of this offensive structure here, Jimmy Jones, the former Freeport Star and Hofstra standout as well. Lots of time looking up the field, and that's some great coverage by Prendergast, who was on the inside of Maurice Irby the entire way down the field.
You know, Carl, you mentioned Jimmy Jones, and we talked about the hump game for Buddy Krumenacker at Hempstead against Lindbrook way back in the day. The hump game for Freeport, and Buddy Krumenacker told Russ Sellen, you're going to get a game where you're going to get this thing turned around. Jimmy Jones against Hempstead, 3 touchdowns in 1994. They win 34-6. They have not looked back.
There's double J's.
There you go. 3 touchdowns that day for the coach, and they haven't looked back since beating Hempstead that day in 94.
Jimmy Jones, the man with the $1 million smile. Less than a minute remaining. Olivier to the 45-yard line, clock moving, 34.8. They'll stop it momentarily on the 1st down to move the sticks. Well, we're live tonight. We'll also be live tomorrow from Laval Stadium, campus of Stony Brook University. That's where we've got William Floyd taking on our number 17, Sachem North, and Mike. How about up in Connecticut? Trumbull taking on number 24, Darien. I know that's where you'll be.
Yeah, visited with Darien coach Rob Trefone this morning. They're real excited, trying to win their first FCAC title since 1998. Trefone won one in 94, 95 with the Senators of Brian McMahon. It's going to be good. I'll tell you this, if you're going, leave now, because they're doing construction at Trumbull High School, and it is a mess when it comes to parking.
And Greg, you and I will have the matchup. We'll be out at Stony Brook for that Sachem North William Floyd matchup.
That promises to be an exciting game. And yes, everybody is counting out William Floyd, but trust me, the Colonials will show up.
Excuse me.
You're not. I know.
Neither, right, okay. I just wanted to let you know.
Carl, you picked them to win that game.
Maybe I know something.
You do know a few things. But
this guy knows a whole lot, as does his counterpart, Russ Sellen.
There's a lot more than I do, Buddy Krumenacker. And he's told me that in the past.
I'm sure he has.
If he doesn't like where you're right, he'll let you know.
Well, Russ will tell you the same thing. Right, Mike? Both of these guys are straight shooters.
Absolutely. You got to love it about these two.
Stand-up guys.
1st and 10. Barnes over the middle. It's center field, making the INT for Farmingdale, and that is Eric Sauer. So now Farmingdale will have the football from its own 30, but we have only 27.9 on the clock.
That doesn't matter.
Not when you can run it up the middle for a touchdown on any given play.
See, Palmer messed this thing up because Barnes wanted to roll to his left. He had to step back to his right because Palmer, 44, was right in his grill. That's why Barnes could not get into his throw.
Yeah, Palmer and Matt Sommer on the defensive line. Good pressure up the middle. They'll take a knee. I'm shocked.
Yeah, well, they are going to protect right now. So we have seen a tremendous 24 minutes of football for the Nassau County Conference 1 championship, and it's 21-21. Number 1, Freeport. Number 3, Farmingdale. 9-1 on the season, Freeport. 8-2, Farmingdale. Throw out the records when these two guys get together. And right now, we played the 24 minutes, and we're tied at 21. Let's go down to the field. Here's Amanda Balionis.
Coach, offensively, this has been a great game, back and forth. You keep responding, they keep responding, but you go in tied at the half, and it ends on a pick. What does that do for the momentum of this team coming in the second half?
Well, I don't think that pick really means much, but I think both teams are having some trouble getting stops. And I think the first team that learns how to stop the other team is going to be in the driver's seat.
I know that you said that you were preparing for Sal Tuttle to be here 100%. You weren't surprised when you saw him out here on the field. Any adjustments you're going to make now in the second half?
No, they have some blocking schemes that we weren't really ready for. We'll go in and draw them up on the board, and if we can fix that, we should be all right, but they're a good team.
All right, Coach, thanks. Good luck in the second half.
You got to love what Russ Sellen just said. They're a good team. Buddy Krumanacher would say about Freeport, they're a good team. We're tied at 21. Back with the halftime activities right after this timeout.
Sports are great for a kid's body. Steroids aren't. They can ruin tendons in legs and arms. Steroids can stunt bone growth and increase the chances of liver cancer, heart attack, and stroke. Steroids don't make great athletes. They destroy them. Talk to your kids. Need help? Get help. Visit drugfree.org.
I like playing with the boys because it gives me a challenge. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to play for college. The reward for me is when my team wins, when I feel like I did a good job. I know within myself, it's not about scoring the most points. It's about, like, point guard, you should be opening shots for your teammate. I play basketball about 3 hours a day. I want to be a writer when I grow up, but I really want to play Division I college. My name is Chinasa Wakacha, and I make varsity. Basically, when they tell me I'm bad, I strive to prove them wrong.
Friday, the FCAC Championship returns to Connecticut as the Trumbull Golden Eagles, after a narrow victory over defending champ Staples, go up for the title against the undefeated Darien Blue Wave, ranked 24. Who will be this year's FCAC champions? On Long Island, it's a rematch of last year's Suffolk County Division I final, as William Floyd, in the final for the 7th time in 8 years, takes on undefeated Sachem North, ranked number 7. Will Sachem North strip the defending champs of their title? Or can William Floyd do it again? An edge-of-your-seat matchup, live in high definition. Friday Night Football, the FCAC Championship, Darien versus Trumbull, and the Suffolk County Division I final, Sachem North versus William Floyd, November 19th at 6:30 p.m. Only on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive.
Welcome back to a special edition of Friday Night Football here on Thursday night. Right now we are all tied up at the half, but I am here with a special guest, Farmingdale's principal, Glenn Zakian. He's been the principal here for 4 years, and I know you're very involved with this football program. This is one of the best games that we've seen all season. This is what you'd expect in a Conference 1 championship. What do you think so far?
It's a great game. Both teams are playing so hard. They deserve, they deserve to be it. They worked so hard from the summer on out. Freeport is an unbelievable team. They're talented. We were the #1 seed, they're #2 seed. We expected to be at this point, so watching them play against each other is very rewarding.
And something else that I think would be really rewarding is having Buddy Krummenacher quarterback this team. He is a guy that coaches say he's a mentor, he's an idol. People are almost intimidated when they first see him. What's it like being with a guy like Buddy Krummenacher?
It's humbling. He has such an unbelievable career under his belt, being at Hempstead, and he's a Daler. He was a Farmingdale grad, so having one of our own come back and coach our team to such great heights and represent the community so well, it's amazing for all of us. It really is a privilege.
And I know a girl that you know, Tracy Weiner, she works with us. I was talking to her before the game, and she said, look, once a Daler, always a Daler. She said, I have so much pride for this school. What's the community pride like? Does it resonate the same way with everyone like it does with Tracy?
Everybody truly loves Daler Pride. It's about the community. It's a very, very big school, over 2,000 students, but it's a small town feeling. You can see based on our fan presence, they come out and really, really support everything between the arts, athletics, and especially the football team.
And academically, you guys have so much going on at Farmingdale. Oh, you can hear this band too. Great band. What are some of the other kind of niche programs that Farmingdale offers that not other schools offer?
Well, we're very excited that we've got a multi-dimensional school. We have everything from AP classes, college courses, down to, fine arts that are just AP scholars that go on to FIT Institute. Everything about the school is amazing as far as the academics go. We're very supportive in the fact that our scholar athlete teams, last year we had all 28 of our teams were scholar athlete teams. We're a national school of recognition, so we're very proud of that aspect as well.
Unbelievable. And I was at your school earlier this year, and I saw how talented the music program is. So why don't we take a listen to another talented band, the Freeport Band? Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having us.
Your show is the colors of jazz.
That was the Freeport Marching Band, and after this, you will be back with Shauna and Jared for the Sports Desk halftime break.
Only the best begin the second season. Only the best prime themselves for the struggle. Only the best pay the toll for the opportunity to become champion. The playoffs, weeknights at 7 p.m. Only on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive.
Go ahead, bud.
He's taking your calls. He's taking your questions.
Right, Freeport.
But when it comes to high school football, 60 is just too quick. MSG Varsity busts open the schedule.
He's off the charts.
Giving you 90 minutes with Mike Quick. Ask your questions. Make yourself heard. A quick 60 on football. 90-minute special. Tuesday at 8 p.m. Only on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive.
Hey neighbors, come on your phone for a conference call. My phone service doesn't include three-way calling.
We're eating dinner?
Oh, I don't mind. Hey, it's Adam.
It's hard to believe some people still don't have the Optimum Triple Play upgrade.
Hey neighbor, you mind emailing more photos off my memory stick? Slow internet.
Sure.
Faster internet and unlimited calling with lots of calling features included. Cable TV customers call 1-888-647-9309 and save hundreds.
Susie, 411 calls are free with Optimum Voice, right?
Right.
May I?
Add Optimum Online and Optimum Voice, and you can lower your cable TV bill too.
Hey neighbors, wake up. I need to download a movie. Sorry.
Get all 3 Optimum services for under $100 a month for a year.
Dude, you need the upgrade.
Kids. Cable TV customers get the Optimum Triple Play upgrade for your house. Call 1-888-647-9309 and save now.
2 quarters in the books of the Nassau Conference 1 championship game. Farmingdale and Freeport tied at 21. Hi, everybody. With Sean Ryan, I'm Jared Greenberg.
All right, it's time to get you guys prepared for Friday and the rest of the weekend's big-time playoff matchups on this halftime report. And we don't stray too far from the location of tonight's game out at Hofstra University for our first preview in Nassau Conference 3. We're looking towards a rematch of last year's title game. Lynbrook will once again face Lawrence, the defending county champ, for the title Friday at Hofstra at 7 p.m. Lawrence comes in 8-2. Its only losses were to Plain Edge and Huling. 9-1, Lynbrook is on a 3-game win streak since losing to Lawrence by just 1 point, 23-22 in October. The Owls are averaging 43 points per game since that loss, and their standout running back Travis Locke has 9 total touchdowns in those last 3 games. MSG Varsity's Jamie Stewart caught up with both teams.
Did you learn anything from that 1-point loss earlier this year?
We learned that we definitely got to work harder, and we got to come together, we got to practice harder, and just do a better job.
I honestly think it's going to be a lot of defense. I don't think
really?
I really don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game as people are saying it's going to be.
Why is that?
I think their defense is very good. I think our defense has just gotten better and better. I think it's going to be more of a game like it was the first time. You know, a couple scores early, and then when we settle down, it'll be who has the ball last type of thing.
Meanwhile, in the Suffolk County semifinals, Sachem North cruised past Northport to set up a Friday night football rematch for the 2nd straight year. Sachem North and Floyd will battle for the Suffolk County Division I title. Last year, Floyd came out on top. This year, during the regular season, Sachem North won going away. This Friday live and in high definition, MSG Varsity viewers on Long Island and New York City and New Jersey can watch this one from start to finish, and our coverage begins at 6:30.
It's been a great ride. We worked extremely hard every week preparing for games, and this game is just like no other game. Just prepare the same way, same work ethic, same focus, and we still have unfinished business, and we plan on finishing it tomorrow.
You got to give it to them. They came out with a great game, and we just didn't play our good football. Now, I think we're all starting to come together. We did a few personnel changes and all that, and we're coming in pretty strong right now, so it should be a great game.
And remember, for more on Long Island playoffs, head to online, MSGVarsity.com, where we've got you covered on everything Long Island football, Nassau, Suffolk, who's going to the LICs. Log on to MSGVarsity.com for complete coverage. All right, we're going to hop on the LIE going westbound onto I-95 north to Trumbull, Connecticut for more on our other live Friday night football game, the FCAC Championship, Jared.
Each year, the FCAC plays its 1-game playoff at a neutral site. This year, it happens to be at Trumbull High School. Last week, Trumbull earned the right to play on its home field Friday night. They handed Staples its first loss of the season. Tomorrow night, Trumbull will once again face another unbeaten team in Darien, the 24th ranked team in the Tri-State. Last Saturday, Ian Millen had his coming out party. The senior quarterback took over in the second half against Staples to lead Trumbull to its 8th win of the season. Friday, Trumbull will have to get past a Darien defense that has been extremely tough. The Blue Wave are allowing less than 9 points per game. Darien is seeking its first conference title in 12 years, but how will the game being played in Trumbull affect both teams?
It's nice that it's home. We get our own locker room, get to stand on our sideline, and get our cannon to go off every time we score. But that's about it. The fans going to be the same. There's going to be a lot from both sides, but no advantage or disadvantage.
You know, it is what it is. And I know that there is a, quote, home field advantage, but the game is played on the field, you know, and we'll use it to our advantage. And the fact that, why isn't the game here at Darien? You know, so let's go down to Trumbull and play ball.
Rob Trifone, the newly named FCAC Coach of the Year. MSG varsity viewers in Connecticut, the Hudson Valley, and Westchester will watch this game live in its entirety. Only one team can call themselves FCAC champs. All of our other viewers will watch the Suffolk County Division I Championship. Is Floyd headed back to another Long Island championship game, or will the 7th-ranked team live up to the hype? Friday Night Football live and in high definition pregame coverage gets underway for both games at 6:30. Also on Friday night, 5th-ranked St. Peter's Prep will ride the legs of Savant Huggins into Ramsey to take on top-ranked Don Bosco Prep in the non-public Group 4 semifinals. The senior has rushed for nearly 1,200 yards, but the Bosco defense is suffocating. Bosco has allowed double-figure points in just 3 games, and their smallest margin of victory this year is 20. Bosco is the 4-time defending state champs. Last year, they beat St. Peter's in the finals. As we look at the games involving our MSG Varsity Tri-State Top 25 teams, there are a couple of teams in action on Friday. Number 9, Sayreville hosts Penelope in the Central Group 4 semifinals. Non-public Group 3 sees St. Pope John at number 12 welcoming Holy Spirit. Number 15, Wayne Hills bounced back nicely last week with a win against Wayne Valley after losing to number 11, St. Joe's, a couple of weeks back. They are at home against High Point. The winner will advance to the North 1 Group 3 finals. All right, so a busy Friday with a bunch of our top 25 teams in action. It's all about the playoffs, so win or go home. And don't forget, after the game tonight, we'll be back with live post-game coverage and more highlights from around the Tri-State area tonight, as well as following tomorrow night's Friday night football games.
You know, it's a busy night for us too, Jared.
It is.
Got to give it up. That's going to do it for us for the High School Sports Desk Halftime Report. That's Jared Greenberg. I am Shauna Ryan. And coming up next, we head back out to Hofstra University for a special edition of Live Friday Night Football. Nassau County Conference 1 championship between 2 top 25 ranked teams. Number 16, Farming.
Schools have entered. Photos have been uploaded. Now the voting is in your hands. Who has the home field advantage? Go to MSGVarsity.com now and cast a vote for the school with the best game day atmosphere. Check out all the entries. Select the school you want. Then cast your vote. And be on the lookout for secret codes when they appear in episodes of High School Sports Desk. Added with your vote, they can increase your school's chances to win some amazing prizes. Finalist schools will receive a game tape playback system. And the top 3 winning schools will receive the grand prize. A blast tunnel with your school's name and logo printed on it. So don't miss out, because voting ends on November 21st. Go to MSGVarsity.com now and give your school the home field advantage. Only from MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive.
Think you've got all the answers? Think you've got what it takes? Then think fast and get ready to take the challenge.
I'm Jared Cotter, and on the next episode of The Challenge, the Bronx is represented as Harry S. Truman High battles Mount St. Ursula for intellectual bragging rights.
The Challenge, only on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive. High school football is exploding in every region. One show covers it all. High School Sports Desk. Jerry Greenberg and Shauna Ryan bring you all the sports and stories in the Tri-State area. Every matchup, every top play, every final score, delivered up to the minute, live. High School Sports Desk, special half-hour edition, immediately following the game. Only on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive.
It is halftime. Number 16 and number 13 tied at 21. Now let's join the Farmingdale marching band on the field. careful of what you just watched because Thanksgiving is a time for family, pumpkin pie, and precision stepping. So join us this Thanksgiving for a celebration of all things marching band featuring over 40 schools from across Long Island. The marching band's a special 3-part presentation this Thanksgiving weekend only on MSG Varsity, another Optimum exclusive. Well, second half about to unfold right after this timeout. It's a special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Football on MSG Varsity HD. At the break, we're tied at 21.
Only the best begin the second season. Only the best prime themselves for the struggle. Only the best pay the toll. Only the best take the field for the opportunity to become champion.
Let's go!
The playoffs, weeknights at 7 p.m. Only on MSG Varsity, another Optimum exclusive.
Pancreatic cancer took my husband,
my brother,
my friend,
my dad,
our grandpa,
my mom.
That's why we need a cure.
The Lustgarten Foundation is dedicated to funding research
so we can beat this deadly disease.
And Cablevision support ensures that 100% of every dollar donated to the foundation
goes directly to research. With research, there is hope.
Join us in the fight.
Join us in the fight. Join the fight. Visit curepc.org.
What are Optimum Rewards? For Jill, it's free movie nights with her best friend, Annie. For the Olsons, it's a family outing that's a little more affordable. For Allie and Jen, it's extra savings where they like to shop. Every day, Optimum Rewards make life a little more memorable for Optimum customers. If you have all 3 Optimum services, join now at OptimumRewards.com. Right away, you can take advantage of exclusive discounts at movies, stores, and restaurants. Get $20 off your monthly cable bill. You can even enjoy once-in-a-lifetime unique experiences. If you have all 3 Optimum services, get your free Optimum Rewards card now at OptimumRewards.com. And don't forget to smile.
Carl Reuter, Mike Quick, Greg Sarah, Amanda Balionis. We're ready for the start of the third quarter, but guys, before we get to that, boy, did we see a whole lot of highlights in that first half.
Hey, Carl, it started out kind of slow, but Greg, when Jeray Brown takes this on the 43-yard line, this thing got going.
Big blocks down the left sideline, Mike, and Jeray Brown to the house, opens the scoring, and you see some of those great blocks as he cuts back against that Farmingdale special teams into the end zone, and we open the scoring 7-0 Freeport.
They have guys that can make plays, so can Sal Tuttle and Pat Stark.
What a great job. Tuttle to Stark, 13 yards and a touchdown.
Danny Olivier goes in from a yard out, made it 14-7. Didn't take long for the number 9, Brian Prendergast, to answer.
47 yards right down the middle of the field against that Freeport defense, and it's 14-14.
Isaiah Barnes coming back. Who's it going to, Greg?
Jeray Brown, touchdown, 22 yards, 21-14 Freeport.
Hey, number 32, KW, Kevin Wall gets into the act.
30 yards down the middle of the field with 1:20 left in the half, 21-21 at the half.
So with that said, 21-21. Let's get the thoughts from the Farmingdale head coach, Buddy Krummenacher, standing by with Amanda Balionis.
Yeah, Coach, you know, they had 114 rushing yards against you. That was obviously the biggest stat that stuck out to us. How are you going to be able to contain their running game in the second half?
I'm not quite as concerned about their running game as I am about their special teams game. I think therein lies the difference in the first half. I don't know what we rushed for, but we're going to move the ball on each other. That's going to happen. But you can't allow the big special team plays, and that's what happened in the first half.
Yeah, did you talk about a way able to contain Jeray Brown in the second half when it comes to special teams?
Well, it's field coverage. I mean, you've got to cover the field to prevent kick returns. There isn't any secret formula to covering a field. You got to spread out, cover the field, and trap the ball.
And a little birdie told me that not much yelling goes on in your halftime. It's more teaching. It's more drawing up on the boards. What big adjustments are we going to see in the second half from you?
Well, you're not really going to see a lot of adjustments. I mean, defensively, They rushed for 114 yards, but like I said to you, they're going to get some yards, and I think we covered the field pretty well. And then you've got a chance if you cover the field, but no real major adjustments. And offensively, when we've had the ball, we've scored 3 touchdowns. So
I would say your offense is pretty good right now. Thank you, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
All right, Amanda, thanks so much. And guys, we take a look at the halftime numbers. What is outstanding to either one of you guys right now?
Well, the first thing that jumps out here, and Mike, I think you'd agree, is Freeport averaged 9.8 yards per carry in this game. Farmingdale's actually doing a great job. They're holding them down to 5 yards per carry on the offense.
The turnovers. I think the big turnover when Isaiah Barnes fumbled the ball on the 1-yard line. Brescia made the big play. I think that's big. But hey, you know what? These guys are used to being close at the half. A year ago, 26-17, Freeport scores late in the half.
And the other thing that jumps out is what a clean football game.
Absolutely.
3 penalties in the entire first half. Good football, great coaching.
Well, guys, we mentioned that this is the 35th meeting between these two teams. Farmingdale leads the series 18-16. Let's take you back to last year's Conference 1 championship game, Freeport and Farmingdale, Mike.
Oh, you remember this guy, number 20, out of the single wing. Kevin Allen ran for 244 yards and 3 touchdowns in the game. This is the night where we got to know about this guy. Danny Olivier kind of pulled himself out of the shadow of Kevin Allen. We saw Sal Tuttle doing his thing, a 26-17 Freeport lead at the half. Well, Kevin Allen, not only did he run for 3, he threw for 1, had 352 all-total yards, second in a row a year ago for the Red Devils.
And then Russ Sellin and the guys took it to the Long Island Class 1 championship and came out on top of that one. That was the third of 3 LIC titles for Russ Sellin. They won back in 2000 with DePrickashaw Ferguson, then in 05, and then last year. 176 wins, 81 losses, 3 ties, now in his 24th year. And no slouch on the other sideline, Buddy Krummenacher in his 18th year, guys. 119 wins, 51 losses, and 6 ties. Second half, it will be Freeport to receive. Farmingdale will kick it off. There's Buddy Krummenacher. He's pretty much the defensive guy with the Dalers.
You know, he got that philosophy from Coach Snyder. Doesn't matter how big, how fast, how strong. The 11 best guys, they're going to play. Doesn't matter what your makeup is, we're going to put the 11 best guys we have on the field.
Let me make a correction. It's Farmingdale who is going to receive, and that's Edwin Sandoval who will kick off, the soccer player. 5'6", 170 pounds. You look at the deep man, number 9 to the near side, Brian Prendergast. Top of the screen, number 4 is Pat Stark. Both can make it happen. 12 minutes on the clock. Ready to start the third quarter. You saw both great bands at halftime, Freeport and Farmingdale, put on quite a show. For those in attendance, from Schuart Stadium, the campus of Hofstra University, Hempstead, Long Island, anticipating this kickoff and what could transpire. There is Mr. Macarena with the shoes that can light up Hempstead Turnpike.
Be aware that the wind has picked up left to right here at Hofstra Stadium, Carl.
We will keep an eye out for that. Prendergast at the 7. Skips over a couple of would-be guys and then brought down shy of the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for Farmingdale. First series, third quarter, we're tied at 21. Mike Quick, Sal Tuttle. What a display in that first half, running the offense. Sal Tuttle, the quarterback, who was wearing a sling from after last week's game in which Farmingdale beat Oceanside up until yesterday at practice.
At practice yesterday, threw the ball great when he was done taking his team on the 2-minute drill, took his shoulder pads off, iced himself up, had some therapy with Phil last night. He's looked terrific today.
Tuttle on the keep. Oh, Tuttle's got an opening. Tuttle off the cutback. Tripped up at the 35-yard line, and Sal Tuttle a little bit slow to get up.
He landed hard on his right elbow, and that's exactly how he got hurt last week against, was it Oceanside? He landed hard on the right elbow, and that's exactly what happened there. He landed on his elbow, and he's in pain.
in almost the identical spot on the field.
Yes.
On that night a week ago, it was the pitch to Kevin Wall. Here, you know, that's one thing. You could tell when he came through, that's more tentative than he has run the football all year. You know, he's a tough guy. Maybe should have gone into the slide after he got the first down.
Well, he is a gamer. He stays in. And what does Tuttle do? Says, I'm going to call my own number again and bring it up to the 40-yard line.
You know what the amazing thing was? We were all here last Thursday night, and he gets carried off. I mean, it looked like the collarbone was gone, everything. 6 minutes later, he comes on the field. I saw him Saturday. He was watching Holy Trinity Iona Prep. How did you work your way back on the field? He said, I told Coach, there is no way that if we lose this game, I'm ending my career on the sideline.
Well, he's going to take the snap here. Now he's going to look. Got a man open. It's Stark. Tremendous catch inside the 30. Down to the 23-yard line.
You know, when you're a receiver and we go out and we talk to the coaches and you say, give us a little something. When a coach says, our wideout has long arms and big hands, you can make plays like that. He was able to take those arms, go over the top, and then grab it and squeeze it.
Great coverage by Malik Streeter. You cannot be in his pocket any closer than that. He just out-jumps him for the ball. Mike, he made it his.
Greg, it's the arms and the hands. Those arms went over number 3's.
33 yards over number 3, Malik Streeter, and then movement left side. I believe they'll push Farmingdale back 5 yards. Again, the referee is Bob Miller.
False start, offense, number 39. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Let's get down to the sidelines. Here's Amanda Balionis.
Yeah, Carl, you know, in that first half, we saw the chemistry between Sal and Kevin Wall. Right now, we just saw it between Tuttle and Stark, and that's because these three have played together forever. Forget since 2002. They've been playing together since they were in PAL. These are three kids that push each other constantly during practice. They're always arguing, fighting, trying to get each other hyped up. And Coach said, hey, when push comes to shove on game day, they're always a solid unit. They have a strong friendship, and the chemistry shows on the field.
Loss on that play, guys. Ball pushed back to the 34-yard line. You look at Kevin Wall. It's going to be second and long.
Big play right there by Oscar Bruce, the defensive end, number 54. Throws him for a big loss of about 11 yards.
Second and 19. Tuttle steps up. Lost his balance, recovered, gets away from Olivier, dumps it off. Prendergast eludes one. Prendergast down to the 15 and driving forward. A tremendous play of escapability by Tuttle to find Prendergast, who then moves it up the field.
Carl, seen that play before from Farmingdale. It won the game on week 3. Gets flushed to his left. Now this just results in a big first down catch by picks up a big chunk of yards to get him in good field position. But this is exactly, I'll tell you what, got away with a horse collar there too. Now here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. This guy Tuttle, he's such a gamer. When he went down, he looked like he was done, right? A couple minutes ago. Is this guy so mentally tough that was a ploy, that he's an actor to make these guys think? I wouldn't put it past him. This kid's got it all.
He was going left and then throwing back to his right, gives it off to Kevin Wall. Wall moves the chains. That's a Farmingdale first down.
There you go. Kevin Wall gets the first down. Sayville gets a touchdown out at Stony Brook. Goes 7-0 over Islip in the third quarter now.
Rob Haas's Sayville team. This a 1st and 10. Farmingdale from the 11-yard line. Almost 4 minutes gone by, third quarter, tied at 21. Big hole, Sal Tuttle to the outside. What's the call? Touchdown, Farmingdale. $11 yards for number 11 for the score.
Well, remember, he told his coach a year ago, it's not going to end for me on the sideline. Watch what he does here at the end of the play with the bad arm. He stretches it out. This kid doesn't care. He knows that if they lose tonight, he's going to run around with a lacrosse stick the rest of his life. He'll never play in moments like this. You know, you talk to these big-time lacrosse guys, Carl. I know you've been around this a long time, lacrosse. These football lacrosse guys will always tell you there's nothing like the moment of being on the football field.
PAT was no good, but Farmingdale still up 27-21. And his lacrosse coach, Sal Tuttle, Bobby Hartenrath.
You know, we saw a quarterback in green a few years ago. Joe Sedaris from William Floyd had that sunshine haircut. Reminds me a lot of him. I'll tell you, Joe threw it better than Sal, but this kid, Sal Tuttle, you know, this doesn't have great numbers for the season. But when he's had to make plays, he's made plays.
Which tells you that he's a winner.
That's it. That's it.
8:06 remaining in this third quarter. 81 yards, 7 plays, 347. Tuttle scoots in from 11. PAT no good. But Farmingdale, guys, for the first time in the game, has the lead.
A little smile from the old crafty coach. It was great yesterday at practice. I told the story earlier, but the first time Tut had to throw the ball and really let it go in practice yesterday, Greg, he ripped it. I turned to Krummenacker. He looks at me, because I only went to practice to see if he could throw it. I said, I've seen enough. He goes, that makes me happy. I tell you what, there's the most important guy in Farmingdale football this week. That's Phil, the trainer. He has been with Tuttle nonstop. And you can see he's working on the arm, just making sure he's got some strength.
He's also cut right now between the index and middle finger.
Well, that's where red and green does mix.
This will be Catalano to kick off. Jeray Brown, number 5. Number 10, bottom of the screen is Evan Lapice. Booming kick, automatic touchback into the end zone, 1st and 10, Freeport from the 35. Well, get all you need to know about high school sports, including this one, in a quick 60. Join Mike Quick as he reveals the top 25 teams in the tri-state area live. That's a quick 60, Tuesdays at 8 p.m. only on MSG Varsity. Another Optimum exclusive. And Mike, I think you'd be talking about this one just a little bit on the show.
Yeah, we might.
Down to Amanda Balionis.
Yeah, Carl, you guys just mentioned this is the first time the Dalers have been up over Freeport all game, and that was not something that was lost on the on the Freeport coaching staff. They told their guys, hey, you need to keep your heads up. Trust me, we're going to get in this end zone. You need to wipe away that touchdown right now and get it done. And guys, looks like they're doing it right now.
They are, with Maurice Irby, who brings it out over the 40 to the 44-yard line.
Greg, he saw the hole and he just hit it. Didn't waste any time, got right in there, exploded.
It's a tremendous run, and again, you have Cephas Ward downfield leading the blocking. Irby just outran him.
Gain of 24, my mistake. That ball went into the end zone. It didn't go out of bounds, so it was 1st and 10 from the 20, not the 35.
It's exactly what Buddy Krummenacker was talking about. Special teams, you can't run it back if you kick it in the end zone.
You got to bring the little guy down, who's very close to a first down. Maurice Irby, 5'3", guys, only 140 pounds. He's one of the Chihuahuas with Evan Lapice.
Okay, here's the stretch, and here comes Irby. Watch Lapice. We're going to get another look at it. He just absolutely lays the wood. I talked to Coach Stengel at the half, who's here. He's a Jersey guy. He's fallen in love with Long Island football. He is blown away by how well these wideouts block.
Little miscommunication on the handoff, and Mike Palmer, 44, was the first guy in there for Farmingdale, and the Dalers try to steal the football. In fact, double nickels. Ben Rosen says, my ball.
Mix up in the backfield. He didn't know if it was going to be an inside handoff or he was going to come behind his quarterback and they run into each other.
Yeah, we just talked about great blocking. You don't want your quarterback blocking your running back.
No.
It was funny over at practice yesterday, guys. You know, Krumanacher's out there. He's got a sheet of papers going through every type of thing that Russ could run out of every set. He's like, boy, they really run a lot of stuff over there. And he said it just comes down to when they run it, we got to tackle them.
Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Ball at the 47. Freeport down by 6. Over the middle. Oh, Mr. Danger, Jeray Brown could not hold on. A bullet from Isaiah Barnes, the QB.
Again, all day to throw. A lot of patience. Isaiah Barnes just waiting for that pattern to develop. Let Jeray Brown come across the field. He was wide open.
Do it well. Mr. Brown saw touchdown number 3 right in front of him, but he didn't see the ball in his belly.
6:12 left on the clock. 3rd and 13. Twins to the top of the screen. Jeray Brown split out bottom of the screen. Motion is Jeff Williams. And that Farmingdale defense standing tall. Perhaps a loss of another yard.
Well, I think right here what Coach Sellen is doing is says, okay, let's get into a field position game right now. Let's get the ball, let's punt it deep, and now let's get them on their backside of their end zone. Because that was a long, that's a tough play to call when you're looking to pick up 13 yards.
Good stick by Brendan Tenney, number 58 for Farmingdale. Sandoval will kick it away. Short kick, surrounded by red jerseys, and then covered inside the 20-yard line. 1st and 10, Farmingdale from its own 19-yard line, up by 6. 5.5 left on the clock, 3rd quarter. Nassau County Conference 1 championship game. The winner moves on for the Long Island Class 1 title.
That was a dangerous kick. It almost hit one of the Farmingdale players.
I saw that.
And that would have been one of those special teams gaffes that could have resulted in an ugly turnover.
Now, if you're writing for the paper, how do you spell gaff?
G-A-F-F-E.
Okay, just
ask. Hey, if I get it wrong, one of the astute editors over there will take care of it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think we have to worry about Sarah spelling anything. Somebody's checking that.
Oh, yeah. Double checking it.
Sal Tuttle will work shotgun. Gives to Wall, working the left side of that line. Cross the 20, then driven back. Speaking of the winner of this game, moving on to the Class 1 championship, the winner of this game will take on the winner of tomorrow night's game, William Floyd, and our number 17, Sachem North. You can see that game live, starting with the pregame show at 6:30. Mike, live pregame up in Connecticut. That's where you'll be for Trumbull and number 24, Darien.
I'll be at home in Connecticut. You know what they call Greg Sarah, Suffolk Sarah. He'll be home in Suffolk County.
They spelled quickie with a C in that one.
Tuttle, pump fake, looking. Up for grabs, and a couple of Freeport guys bumping into one another. And could not come up with the INT. Jalil Burton hitting his teammate Cedric Smiley.
There's nothing wrong with that arm strength. That was 45 yards in the air.
I think all quarterbacks should go into the championship game with a bum shoulder if you can throw it like this. You know, it's funny because when I watched him throw yesterday in practice, I know it sounds crazy. I'm like, that's as good as he has thrown the football all year. Now, granted, there was a 50-mile-an-hour wind at his back when he was throwing it.
Tuttle faked it, tried to keep it. He's denied by that Freeport defense on that 3rd down play, and that'll be 4th and 10. Again to the sidelines, Amanda Balionis.
Yeah, Mike, you're talking about how Sal Tuttle looked so great in practice yesterday, and I was talking to some of the training staff before this game, and I said, you know, why do you think that he looks so much better with a sore shoulder? And he said, hey, now Sal Tuttle has to really focus on the fundamentals. He's getting back to the basics. He's really thinking about the way that he's throwing. He's doing all the right things now, so maybe an injury is all right, guys, because it brings you back to the basics.
Nearly blocked. Kick got off, out of bounds, and they punted it away. Greg Sarah from Jeray Brown, so no harm there.
Right now, the MVP is Mr. Martin. He's kicking the ball away from Jeray Brown, right, Mike?
Good point. That's a real good
I wouldn't kick it to him. Would you kick it to him?
Not me. Justin Martin doing an outstanding job as you see the golden locks that Mike Quick totally jealous of, as well as myself on the head of Sal Tuttle.
He's just a great kid. He's so engaging. You know, talked to his dad, Chris, yesterday. Really good guy. Had a great time out there at Farmingdale with Tom Kelly. You know, his son Ryan's the center for Farmingdale. It's great when the dads get into it, and you know, we make picks and we have fun with it. And they're like, oh, it's great. We're having so much fun with it. I pick against Farmingdale all the time. They told Rappaport last week, they said, tell Quick to keep picking against us.
Isaiah Barnes taking that handoff, and he is brought down at the 45-yard line, a pickup of 9.
And they got that offense moving last series also. Picked up a first down or 2, and then kind of stalled a couple of bad reads. Let's see what they do here. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it back, throws it out deep again to Jere Brown coming across the middle.
I would, because on second and short like this is a free play. I'm going home run.
We have a good one here tonight out at Stony Brook. They're now tied at 7. Sayville and Islip.
Islip isn't going to be happy with me. I picked him to win. So I'm the kiss of death.
Irby, far side, still on his feet. And the little guy at only 5'3" runs under people and gets through traffic. First down for Freeport.
Well, they said in practice yesterday, Coach K said, listen, tackle his legs. Well, that's just a good hit by CB Carl Brescia. But they were so concerned that if you went high against Oliver, he'd run over you. If you went high against Irby, he'd go under you.
Less than 3 minutes remaining, third quarter. We were tied at 21 at the break. The scoring here in the third quarter, 11-yard touchdown run by number 11, Sal Tuttle, QB of Farmingdale. Extra point, no good. And that's where we stand. Olivier looking for some running room, shuttled his feet, came back towards the middle field, of the field, and he's stopped at the 30-yard line.
It looks like they're running the right side a lot behind Terrell Brown. And Mike, you alluded to it earlier. He seems to get a good block on that edge.
No huddle by Freeport. They're going shotgun, offset eye left with Olivier, trips to the bottom of the screen with Brown, Irby, and Williams. Split up high, Evan Lapice. Second down and 4. That's on his feet, loose football. The scramble for it at the 25-yard line.
Somewhere on the bottom of that pile, you're going to find Isaiah Barnes. It's amazing. Yep. The quarterback sprints 9 yards down the field when he saw the ball pop loose. I think what happened with that play, guys, if you go back and take a look, watch Olivier. He moves before the snap. No, he didn't. Bad job by me. Just didn't hang on to the football. Good job by Barnes to see it and hunt it down.
It was a jab step right, and then he came back left and never got the handoff. It wasn't clean.
That was the third cough up by Freeport in this game. They recovered here. Russ Sellen, 24th year, 1975 graduate, Lindenhurst High School. His team down by 6. Look at the little guy go. Oh! Just pulled down from behind, but Maurice Irby, you talk about a little scat back who can really pick him up and put him down.
Yeah, because when you get in behind Ward, 6 feet 275 and 72, Ken Berryhill, the junior, 6'4", 245, you can't see 14. 14's a little big man, 5'3", $140. You can't see him. The left side of the line that time just drove. It was like they were on the sled out in the grass at Freeport High School, down the park where they work out, and just drove.
Like, you know who Carl just sounded like? It sounded like Berman. He said, look at that little Meggett go, is what it was. Remember David Meggett? This guy reminds you of David Meggett, the Giants.
You're talking about, as Russ Sellen, when I was speaking with him the other day, he calls Evan Lapice, number 10, and Maurice Irby, number 14, his Chihuahuas. Lapice is only 5'4", 140, and Irby's only 5'3", 140. Two little guys that really make things happen. And Russ Sellen is trying to make it happen right now in that huddle. Jimmy Jones to his right, the former star at Freeport High School and here at Hofstra University. 59.9 remaining, third quarter. One score, as I mentioned, Sal Tuttle took it in from 11 yards out for Farmingdale to break the 21-all halftime. Extra point, no good. I know you're disappointed, guys, with the game tonight, right? Second and inches. Olivier driving forward inside the 10, still keeping his feet going, and then pushed back, but they'll mark that forward motion. That's a first down.
It reminded me of the play down by the goal line where he got stripped. Same type of play, stand him up and keep ripping at the football. Good second effort here for extra yardage.
Just running hard. Ran past that front line of his red buddies. He just kept banging and pumping and working.
Eric Sauer, who had an INT for Farmingdale in that first half. One of a couple of men in there on the tackle, along with number 44, Mike Palmer. The numbers tonight for Dan Olivier. Olivier last week had 138 yards in Freeport's semifinal win. They continue to move it forward, staying on the ground. There's Olivier once again, shy of the 5.
Very religious young man, and 6 feet, 215 pounds. He brought it all on that run right up the middle on the final play of the third quarter.
So 3 quarters in the books. We'll come back for the start of the fourth quarter for the Nassau County Conference 1 Championship. It's a special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Football.
No agents, no prima donnas, no contracts. 100% all heart, all passion, all pride, all sports weekend. The best high school sports in the tri-state area all weekend long. All Sports Weekend, only on MSG Varsity, another Optimum exclusive.
You, the greatest basketball fans in the world. Us, your new New York Knicks. We, the fans, the team, the city, united. We, protecting the Mecca of basketball. Now, when you and us become we.
Whole lot of offense out at Hofstra. Hi, everybody. I'm Jared Greenberg. A defensive struggle out at Stony Brook. Division III championship game. Saintville has just taken a 14-7 lead. James Rupp, 29-yard touchdown reception for Saintville. Friday night, double coverage on Long Island. 7th-ranked St. John North takes on William Floyd in the Suffolk Division I final. In Connecticut, FCAC championship, number 24 Darien takes on Trumbull. Back out to Hofstra for the fourth quarter. It should be a good one. Enjoy the game.
Welcome back to a special Thursday edition of Friday Night Football, where we are live and we are in HD. Right now, the Dalers are leading the Red Devils 27-21. And guys, Russ Sellen and Buddy Krummenacker have been friends for well over 2 decades, and you can really see their friendship reflected on the field between the similarities of both these teams. For instance, both teams have very simplistic uniforms for the same reason. Neither coach wants to be showy. They don't want these kids to think that they're great. They want to keep them humble and hungry, so they keep their uniforms simple. Another thing, neither team has a number 1 on their roster. The reason for that, both coaches believe the entire team holds that number 1 in their heart, so they don't want anybody standing out. And one of the final reasons is every single kid on this team is only allowed to wear one kind of shirt underneath their uniforms, and that is their warm-up that has their team motto on it. For Russ Sellen's team, the motto, simple, shut up and hit. For Buddy Krummenacker, it's eyes, ears, and heart. So you can see all of these similarities between these two great friends, and obviously the common denominator here is both programs are absolutely outstanding.
Amanda, Coach Sellen said, you know what, I wish they all just wore one number, just the same number. He is the best. I had a blast over there talking to him yesterday.
Oh, they're tremendous. You can talk hours and hours on the phone with either one of them or in person. Both very accessible to whatever you need for a broadcast. Olivier, oh, he's bottled up there. I believe Greg Sarah, Mike Palmer, 44. First man in to wrap him up from behind.
Carly's having a great game, doing a great job in the middle of the field. Good reads. They haven't really been able to pound it inside much on him. And he's right there to make the play.
Well, he's the second leading tackler for the Dalers coming into the game tonight. He's the first leader right now because he has been all over this field from the very first play of this game.
There is Mike Palmer combining with Carl Brescher, number 39. Over 200 total tackles this year for that dynamic duo. They'll need a couple here. This is 3rd and goal from the 6 for Freeport, down by 6. Barnes to the air. Touchdown, Jeff Williams. We're tied at 27 with the impending PAT.
Carl, it's a great read, and it's exactly what Mike and I talked about before the game. He said, watch number 7, Jeff Williams. He'll have a great impact on this game. Just a pass out into the flat, and he just takes it into the end zone. Pretty much all on speed right there. But how many times have you seen a guy wide open like that, Mike, and he gets an easy pass and he drops it?
Well, you know, and this is a big kick right here. You know, golden shoes, as Carl said, Mr. Macarena. Look at him all jacked up,
for the lead,
humping his feet.
Edwin Sandoval for the lead. Splits the uprights, 28-27 Freeport. 3rd receiving touchdown of the season for number 7, Jeff Williams.
Here's what I like about it. Watch when Barnes throws the football. Williams catches it coming up the field, doesn't have to wait for it. Also got a real nice block from another one of those wideouts. I'm not sure if we're going to catch the number here, but you saw in the gun, gets it, turns, throws. Williams has the ability to catch it while moving forward, and he just jumps into the end zone.
Just another quick hit and a good job by Isaiah Barnes. Catch and throw, get rid of the ball. Didn't hold it. There wasn't even a play fake there.
So comfortable. He just looked so comfortable, so relaxed. Coach Stengel, we were talking at the half. He said, now he saw him in week 3. Played well that day, threw 2 touchdown passes against Farmingdale, 212 yards. He says he can't believe how much he's grown up in the last 7 weeks.
He said he's improved tremendously from the first time he saw him throw.
Well, hope everyone is enjoying this special Thursday edition of Friday Night Football. Carl Reuter, Mike Quick, Greg Sarah, Amanda Balionis from Schuett Stadium, campus of Hofstra University, MSG Varsity, and HD, bringing you this live Nassau County Conference 1 title game. The winner moves on to the Long Island Class 1 Championship. Will be played right here at Hofstra University. Take on the winner of Sachem North, our number 7 team, and William Floyd. That game to be played tomorrow night, also live on MSG Varsity HD.
How about this, Carl? It was around this time after the Prendergast 80-yard punt return in week 3 that Farmingdale had a 28-27 lead. They then increased it to 35-27. Brown kickoff return, go for 2, tie it at 35. This thing is so similar to week 3. You know, and we were kidding before we went on the air. There's no way we're going to get a game like we did in week 3, 42-39. Man, they're
trying.
Conference 1, it's a magical place to be. It's almost eerie to what happened in week 3 right now, Mike. Almost eerie. Sandoval will kick it off. Stark from the 14. Stark spinning. Picks up some more yardage over the 25 to the 28. Well, all things high school now in high definition. Tara Petrolino brings you a new season of High School Journal. MSG Varsity's weekly news magazine showcases arts, entertainment, and special events in the tri-state area. Catch High School Journal Tuesdays at 7 p.m. only on MSG Varsity.
Stark pulling a little bit of that lacrosse repertoire on that return, a little spin move.
See him like dodge into the cage?
Yeah.
They know how to play lacrosse in Farmingdale. They know how to try to string out that play very nicely there. That's number 30, Errol Small, bringing down Sal Tuttle. Nice job by Small. Again, a first-year starter for the junior.
You know what's really impressive about both teams? They can have a play that gets busted up. A play goes bust. It doesn't matter. Second and long, third and long, they have that big play capability on every down. So it's almost like down and distance doesn't matter.
It's true. It really doesn't. Less than 10.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Tuttle with running room. Oh, a lot of room to Prendergast to midfield off the cut. Dropped at the 40-yard line. That is a big play with Tuttle finding Prendergast. 1st and 10 Farmingdale from the Freeport 40-yard line on a pickup of 32 yards.
That play fake was so good. He had the left side of the Freeport line running right. If you watched Oscar Bruce on the left side of the line, number 54, they were all going to the ball carrier, going right, as he was running to their left. Great job by Tuttle.
2 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Tuttle on the keep, right up the gut. Sal Tuttle to the 10, to the 5, brought down at the 2-yard line. 38 yards, Sal Tuttle, 1st and goal, Farmingdale.
Hey, Carl, you know on kickoffs and punts sometimes where something bad happens right when you try? Watch what happens at the beginning of this play. He puts it in, pulls it out, loses it for a split second, and then stepped outside. Here you go.
How did he hold on to the ball at the end of this run? Watch this. He reaches out to try to score, and he almost gets stripped.
With his right hand. Wow. He held that with his right hand.
Incredible strength.
Jeray Brown from behind. Officially, it's at the 1. It's a 39-yard gain. Kevin Wall trying, spinning. Did he break the plane? Touchdown, Farmingdale.
Great second effort.
Well, Jeray Brown came in and just planted Kevin Wall, and he just contorted his body, spun back in, and there is some scoring going on here tonight on Long Island.
Now, I would think Farmingdale will go for 2. Up by 5. Took the lead 27-21, missed the point after. And now they will out of shotgun with Tuttle, rolling near side, dumps it off. Prendergast denied by Jeray Brown with help from a lack screener.
That is a big-time hit right at the goal line.
Tough throw for Tut to make. Rolling to his left, has to, the righty, so he couldn't get it. Watch this. That's a tough throw. Guy in his face, body leaning back, so he couldn't get it out in front of Prendergast.
And the only way you can make that throw, Mike, is if you square your shoulders. He's got to get his shoulders square and make that throw. You get nothing on the football, and that's what happened. It hung too long.
And did you see who didn't allow him to square his shoulders? Jeff Williams. The guy that Russ Ellen says we can never afford to lose.
That's because Jeff Williams will line up as a wide receiver. He'll line up as a tight end. He'll play quarterback. He plays linebacker. He's the guy that Russ Ellen said because of Jeff Williams, we don't really have to sub. We just move him around.
And it drives people crazy, he says.
Unreal. But now Freeport guys down by 5 with 9:21 left on the clock.
Doesn't matter.
You're never chasing a point here. You're chasing touchdowns.
This a classic between Krummenacher and the Dalers, and Selland and Freeport. 4 plays, 71 yards, a $140, 2-yard run. Wall, 2-point conversion, no good. Farmingdale by 5. Farmingdale was the number 3 seed heading into the playoffs. Freeport, the number 1 seed.
In 1991 and 92, Russ Ellen was in his 6th and 7th year at Freeport High School. Had back-to-back 2 and 6 seasons. Wasn't sure if he was doing right by the kids. Didn't know if he was the guy to lead this thing. And made a call. The guy across the field.
There you go.
Because he's the dean. And he said to him, listen, there will come that hump day. And we told you, their hump day for Freeport was 94 against Hempstead. Jimmy Jones, incredible that day. The reason this game is so close is because the guy across the field saw something in this coach in the red uniform and allowed him and got in his head and said, don't give up on this.
And the guy on the other side of the field coaching the green and white also did the same with Paul Rourke, a very successful coach at Syosset High School. A little squibber bouncing from the 24-yard line and then dropped at the 31-yard line. Picking it up there was Evan Lapice. 1st and 10, Freeport. You know, a lot of people said that this is a rivalry. And in talking with Buddy Krummenacher, he said, it's not a rivalry. Our big rival would be Massapequa. Freeport would be Baldwin, separated by only about a half a mile, Freeport and Baldwin. He said, I call this more of the Mutual Admiration Society because there's never been anything bad, no bad blood, nothing, no words ever exchanged between these two teams.
It's amazing. It's a testament to both coaches.
Mr. Dangerous on the option. Jeray Brown now tucks it and he'll keep it. Still on his feet, dropped at the 34-yard line. A pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6 for Freeport.
And that's good recognition for a guy that doesn't throw the ball often. Nobody was open downfield. He would have just thrown it into coverage. Instead of panicking and just letting it loose, he decided, uh-oh, I just better tuck it and go. That's a great decision right there.
Matt Sommer did a real nice job disrupting the play. Big number 75, 5'9", 250, the senior defensive tackle for the Dalers of Farmingdale.
There he is, right in the center of your screen. Motion Williams, number 7. Hand to Irby. Basically getting back to the line of scrimmage, so it will be 3rd down, and they will say it's 5 yards, approaching 8 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter.
You know, we talk about Tuttle all game and his injury, and that he's battling this shoulder separation and how he's been a warrior. But I wonder why Isaiah Barnes hasn't carried the ball more. He's been giving it up on almost every hand. If every read is a give, he doesn't take it and go. And I'm wondering when we're going to see that Isaiah Barnes get loose in the open field.
It's coming. There's no doubt.
Freeport sending twins to the top of the screen. Evan Lapice split out bottom of the screen, number 10. 3rd and 5. Play action, Barnes drops it off. Jeff Williams, 1st down. Knocked out of bounds at the 44-yard line.
Not an easy throw, Carl, hitting him on an out pattern. A little short out. If he doesn't throw that with good velocity, that's a pick 6. But that's a good job. Throws it to the outside shoulder, and a good job Williams getting enough yardage for the 1st down. That was a huge play.
Not a pretty throw, but an efficient throw. Again, Williams catches it in space and has the ability with the throw to just keep it, not wait for it, and get the 1st down. Doesn't matter how it gets there, man. Just get it there.
Like Buddy said, we do what we do, and Russ says we do what we do. It's not very complicated.
Barnes running over the 45, a pickup of 2 to the 47-yard line. 2nd down and 8.
Last week against Syosset, this play worked with Irby in motion when Barnes would come back the other way with it. That time there just followed it right into traffic.
Well, guess who made the tackle? Mike Palmer. It's about his 35th tackle of the game. Kid's been all over the field, and he may be shadowing Barnes the entire time, and that may be the reason why he gives it every time.
Second down play. Lapice was in motion. With time, Barnes has Lapice on the far side, inside the 40, down to the 36-yard line. That's a pickup of 17 yards.
Again, give the offensive line credit. He has a lot of time to let the play develop after the fake handoff. He waits, he clears Prendergast, gets behind him, and then he throws it out just over his shoulder enough to make the completion and a big 1st down.
Hope you're enjoying a special Thursday edition of Friday Night Football on MSG Varsity HD. Carl Reuter, Mike Quick, Greg Sarah, Amanda Balionis from Seward Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University, Hempstead, Long Island, for the Nassau County Conference 1 Championship. The winner moves on to the Long Island Class 1 title game. Olivier off the inside handoff. working his way down close to the 25-yard line and very close to another Freeport first down. The clock quickly moving, coming down to 6 minutes left in the fourth.
You see Palmer, Pat 21, right in the belly, said, "You got me." Mike Palmer was upset that he missed the tackle here. They got actually blown up on the play. Wow, 73, just doing the job for Freeport. Terrell Brown, what a night he has had, 6'2", 255.
Headed to Bryant University. First down, Barnes and Freeport. And then he stepped back, and then he went forward again, tripped up at the 20. That was weird. Had the first down, came back, then went forward, have a Farmingdale player down on the far side.
Brendan Tenney, number 58.
He's going to be okay. Big 58. He's just going to have to catch his wind a little bit. I think he'll be fine. But Barnes, boy, magician-like, keeps the feet going. He's so long and lean, 6'2", $175. I'm not sure he weighs 175 pounds. But man, he just, you know, sometimes he does some things that bothers coach, and other times it's like, wow, just let him do what he's doing.
All right, there is a timeout on the field with 5.5 left, and it's Farmingdale 33-28 over Freeport. Back with more right after this timeout on MSG Varsity HD.
Friday, the FCAC Championship returns to Connecticut as the Trumbull Golden Eagles, after a narrow victory over defending champ Staples, go up for the title against the undefeated Darien Blue Wave, ranked 24. Who will be this year's FCAC champions? On Long Island, it's a rematch of last year's Suffolk County Division I final, as William Floyd, in the final for the 7th time in 8 years, takes on undefeated Sachem North, ranked number 7. Will Sachem North strip the defending champs of their title? Or can William Floyd do it again? An edge-of-your-seat matchup, live in high definition. Friday night football, the FCAC Championship, Darien versus Trumbull, and the Suffolk County Division I final, Sachem North versus William Floyd, November 19th at 6:30 p.m. Only on MSG Varsity, another Optimum exclusive.
Well, Brendan Tenney gingerly walking off, 6 foot, 240-pound senior. Seems like he's okay. Hopefully he gets back into this game. And Mike, this is the type of game, whether you're a sophomore, a junior, or a senior, you want to get back on the field.
I can guarantee you that he's going to be back. Anybody who's ever played any type of athletic event or anything like that has experienced what Mr. Tenney just did. You get hit in a certain area, it's going to hurt for a sec, but you're going to figure out a way to get back in.
This has been an unbelievable game between two outstanding programs, Farmingdale and Freeport. Two teams who, when the season starts in September, they don't need bus drivers in November because the buses know how to get to Hofstra.
Absolutely.
They're definitely familiar with the venue. You know who this is a nightmare for? Sachem North and Floyd watching these two teams.
On 1st and 10, Olivier to the 13-yard line. Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Watching the clock, coming down to 5 minutes left. Freeport with the ball, down by 5.
Jeff Williams has done it on offense. He's done it on defense. And right there, just a great seal block off the edge allows Olivier to step outside. This kid right here is a football player. He's going to end up at some college, and they're going to be really lucky that they have him.
Optimally, you know Freeport does not want to score on this play. They want to score in like 5 plays.
They'd like to run some time off,
yes,
but they want to also get in the end zone. Tough situation to be in. Farmingdale says no to Maurice Irby. You know, Mike, going back to Jeff Williams, as you said, there are football players, and then there are football players. And Jeff Williams is the football player.
Yeah, he's got football DNA. There's no doubt about it. He just, the way he carries himself, the way he approaches his craft, 6'2", 190. You know, Kevin Allen last year scoring all the points, all the touchdowns, everything like that. They missed him this year. I mean, it's amazing they've gotten back to where they are. Jeff Williams won't have the numbers that Kevin Allen did, but they'll miss him as much, if not more.
Absolutely agree with you. Try to turn the corner with LaPice off the cut to the 5, and then knocked down at about the 3-yard line. Evan LaPice turning the corner left side, Greg Sarah.
I don't know if they didn't get away with a big hold on that left defensive end. That looked bad to me, but who knows? The officials are standing right on top of that, but that right there, I thought Prendergast got tackled on that play. That's a tough play right there.
That was Ken Berryhill, number 72 for Freeport.
If you watch, he drags him down pretty much and doesn't let him get loose.
I think
that tackle.
I think Irby ripped Pendergrast around, and that's why Buddy Krumenacker was standing on the 3, and he's still down inside the 15. He is heated. Irby got inside Pendergrast, dragged him to the ground, and LaPice was able to step inside.
You know,
first and goal.
It's been a well-officiated game. They've really let the teams play, and I'm sure that in these situations, they're letting the boys play.
And now Buddy Krumenacker, this time been calling, whoa, he's going at it. He's got a couple of words right there for the officials.
Yeah, he's hot.
You know, I'll tell you this. You can let that man express how upset he is, because if anybody handled the situation at East Meadow with the type of class Buddy Krumenacker did, then it's amazing the way he handled that situation when the game was literally taken from them 3 times on one play.
And Vin Massey, head coach of East Meadow, said, I feel awful for their kids.
Absolutely. You know, it's one thing when it happens in week 2.
Yeah.
It's another thing, you know, and listen,
week 11.
The officials are human.
Yes.
They're going to miss some calls. You know, it happens.
And sometimes the hardest call is the obvious call that's right in front of you, because they're looking at so much. So there's a possibility he did not see that from behind the play.
First and goal, Freeport from the 3-yard line of Farmingdale. There's 3:28 on the clock. Farmingdale by 5.
Well, doesn't matter. If Freeport scores, they still have more than a minute to play.
Yeah, these
3.5.
drives have been fast and furious, Greg.
Every 2 minutes. In fact, at the end of the first half, we saw 2 touchdowns in the last few minutes. So this game is far from over. We have a lot of excitement left here.
Offset eye left with Olivier. Shotgun Barnes. Olivier, the carry. Olivier stopped. It'll be second and goal from pretty much the same spot, the 3.
Now, do you start to use timeouts?
Well, you're watching the clock tick.
Well, we know this. If Freeport scores, they're going for 2. Yeah. There's no question about it. So, and you have a good kicker who won the quarterfinal game against MacArthur with a 29-yard field goal with 2.5 minutes left.
Less than 3 now on second and goal. Might have lost a half a yard. Williams stringing the play out. The Gaelic defense. Mike Palmer 44, Brian Prendergast 9.
2 things on that play happen great. Palmer gets great explosion, and you don't have to waste a timeout. He tackled him out of bounds, and that is a huge play. Look at this. Brescia takes on the Prendergast is right there too.
Yes.
And then Palmer comes in. That's good defense. That's real good pursuit defense.
I don't know if I'd be running at Prendergast right now. He's probably still upset over the play earlier in the drive, waiting to get a fair shot at making a tackle. He's fired up over there. That's a good job.
I'd say BP is jacked right now. This is third and goal. It's been pushed back to the 4-yard line now.
Well, they're coming to the right on this play. You can be sure that, the right side.
Barnes, airborne. Tremendous catch by Mr. Danger. Jeray Brown. Freeport has the lead.
That's a tough throw right there. He just throws it before the D-back turns around. He just goes up and gets it. Jeray Brown, he said, that is mine.
Beat Pat Stark. And here's the 2-point conversion, Mike Quick, that you talked about, with Freeport up by 1.
The extra point does you no good.
First time around, week 3, it was a 3-point game for Farmingdale. Cut back, 2-point conversion, good by Isaiah Barnes, and it's 36-33.
On the roll, just looking for a little bit of a lane, and he takes it upfield. Wide open into the end zone. Nice run, nice read.
You know, most times when you see the hop step, you see it east-west. Watch the hop step here. It's a north-south hop step, right? Little hop right there. Boom, right in. I'll tell you what, this kid has written himself into the great folklore of Freeport High School. A lot of these guys are known for their defense and stuff like that. But Isaiah Barnes, they will talk about Isaiah Barnes like they did Jimmy Jones. Kevin Allen.
There's your guy right there. Terrell Brown on the kickout block, Mike.
That's it.
Big block.
My man Leslie Jackman on that great 2003 team.
You just love that name.
I do.
Jackman.
He's a great player.
This is a great name. There's Jeray Brown, Mr. Danger. 13 plays, 70 yards. That's a long drive at 6:34, but go back to week 3. Freeport's only loss of the season, Mike Quick, 42-39 to Farmingdale. 2:43 on the clock right now. 3-point game once again, this time in favor of Freeport.
How about that? They get the ball on the Sunrise Highway out at Freeport. 89 yards. When they got the ball, Carl, 2:58 left in the game. Down 3.
Well, you're looking only a 15-second differential right now.
It's unbelievable.
And Sunrise Highway would be the north end zone at Freeport High School. And now Farmingdale, if they're going to win this game, will have to drive and punch it into the north end zone.
Well, we said these were 8 great football games on paper going into the weekend for the Nassau and Suffolk County Championships. The other 7, you better play, because this one, wow.
Islip Sable, 14-14 in the 4th quarter. They played a little defense in that case.
Yeah, just a little.
You're proud of your Suffolk guys.
I am proud of them.
Edwin Sandoval to kick with Prendergast 9, Pat Stark 4, the Golden Shoes. Boy, do they really clash with those red unis. Wow. If he does the Macarena on the approach to the football, that'd bring the house down.
Well, he was the young man in week 3 who hit the 35-yard field goal with 6.5 minutes left to put him up 3.
Well, they're going to get good field position because his kickoffs haven't gone further than the 15.
From the 12, it's Prendergast with an opening. Oh, and knocked down at the 36-yard line, but he wasn't far from breaking it to the field. And here's Amanda Balionis.
Yeah, guys, right before that kick, the coaching staff for the Dalers said, look, you need to take it down this sideline this entire drive. Going down the middle of the field is not going to get us where we need to be. Where do we need to be? We need to take it to the house. He said, look, we've been saying it all year. This could be the last chance I have to ever say it to you, so take it to the house.
Let's see if the Dalers, for Coach Buddy Krummenacher, led by the QB, Sal Tuttle, can take it to the house. Tuttle, looking, throws it underneath. Reception was made, but not much there. Rodney Tarula on the catch. 2-yard gain.
Tuttle going to step up, find a little opening, get it there. And when Coach K talked to his guys, he was talking to a bunch of seniors. Tyler Ward, the only junior on either side of the ball.
Trips up top. That's Tarullo for a first down to midfield.
You know, they ran that play to open up the Oceanside game the other night, that little throwback jet screen there. A couple plays later, they go up top to Stark. I loved this play the other night to open up the Oceanside game.
Great block downfield by Brian Prendergast to hold off Errol Small and give him a lane to run for that first down.
Clock moving at 1:48. Tuttle, straight drop. Now he's flush, comes to the near side, and he's got Prendergast. And Prendergast maybe should have gone out of bounds. Gets the first down, so it will stop the clock to move the chains. 1st and 10 Farmingdale from the Freeport 39.
This is a no-joke throw. Rolling to his left. I mean, come on, with a bad shoulder, rolling to his left and having the zip to find Brian out there.
Great job by that Farmingdale offensive line, giving Sal Tuttle plenty of time to find an open receiver. There really hasn't been much pressure on the quarterbacks.
A barn burner in the Nassau County Conference 1 Championship. Screen for Wall. Driven down to the 35-yard line. A pickup of 4, 2nd and 6. Watch the clock.
Great play call. They had the blitz on. Jeff Williams came in off the right side, and they had the screen call. Good timing on the offensive coordinator's part there.
Pete Mallory, boy, he's mixing it up now. He's bringing it all out, the OC for Farmingdale.
Tuttle slips, recovers, dumps it. Pat Stark with a diving effort. Excellent coverage there by Malak Streeter. Stops the clock, 52.9. Farmingdale with the ball, down by 3. 3rd and 6 from the Freeport 35.
You have all 3 timeouts, okay? What I'm gonna run here, I'm gonna run a quarterback draw. Right here, you're getting guys dropping off in coverage. I'd have Sal run a quarterback draw, get the first down, and then let's go to work.
Wall is just stuffed.
Then back to the well. He went back to Wall. If they ran the touchdown on that last time, Mike, and you were right, if he takes that away and takes it on his own, he probably had big yardage. Wall met a wall.
Sure yep. Now, if you were writing this game, that might have been your lead. Wall met a wall. Timeout on the field. 47.4 left. It will be 4th and 7 for Farmingdale, down by 3. The ball at the 36 of Freeport.
Let's play coach.
Let's play coach.
What do you got, Quickie?
I'm getting Tuttle on the edge.
What do you got,
Somewhere
Carl?
I got to get him on the edge.
I got a little bit of a rollout here. Maybe a little play action, set something up. You don't need a whole lot. You need 7 for the first down to keep it going here.
I agree. I think he has to roll with this. I think he has to roll to his throwing shoulder and go right and find one of his receivers on the sideline, get out of bounds.
You know, we've seen it tonight, guys, where Prendergast ran, dragged with him across the field. Earlier this year in the Syosset game, we saw how BP was very efficient coming across the field. I think we're going to see something in the middle of the field. Remember, they'll stop the clock. First down, they're going to stop the clock. So, you know, with 48 seconds left and 2 timeouts, time right now is not an issue.
I'll tell you, if they get the first down, the Dalers, the loneliest man on this field right now is number 12 for Farmingdale, Greg Catalano. He would be the one to attempt, unless they get into the end zone, a game-tying field goal.
Well, I wouldn't put anything past Sal Tuttle right now. He may go for the home run. He may shock everybody and go long here. We'll see.
Sal Tuttle will be playing on this field next year, coming to Hofstra, lacrosse, played for Seth Tierney. There's Greg Catalano. Here we go. It's 4th and 7, down by 3 for Farmingdale from the Freeport 36. Shotgun Tuttle. They're coming. He's in trouble. Now he tries to escape. Tuttle's going to keep it. First down, it looks like. Now we have to see where the spot is going to be given. Tuttle came right around the 30-yard line. Is it going to be a generous spot? And Russ Sellen is right on top of the officials. And guys, they're going to bring the sticks across the field to the near side.
It's going to be the length of a football either way.
All right, go out on a limb.
He's short. I say, by Russ Sellen's reaction, he got it. It didn't look like he got it on the play. Great job taking it and go.
Russ Sellen said, that's it. So that might mean that's it. Freeport ball, game over. Look at Russ out on the field. the officials say, hey, coach, you got to get off of there. It's short.
Wow. Russ overreacted, huh? He thought they got it. That's a huge
Are you
play.
surprised that this game will come down to the length of a football? Mike Quick, Greg Sarah.
Nope. This game's not over. There's 2 timeouts left. You know what, this game, yeah, unless they turn it, yeah, it's over. 2 timeouts left.
Wow.
Incredible how Tuttle, Greg, he was flushed all the way back to his own 45, and then he turns it back up the field. He misses by the length of the football.
He got a little chip block out in the open field. A nice job. He got down to the 30-yard line. You just couldn't see where he got knocked out of bounds. That's a good open field tackle.
Here's the difference between high school, college, and pro football. If this is a college or a pro game, there are yard markers on both sides of the field.
Yes, you're right.
He ran to the opposite side of the yard marker.
Couldn't see it.
Did not know. Being smart, he's thinking he got it. Let me get out of bounds. College game, he's going to get a first down because he had an extra yard.
In high school, they always put those markers on the visiting side with the chain gang.
That's where the top seed helped Freeport. Everyone talks about the top seed because with that Week 2 loss to East Meadow, had Oceanside, Freeport, and Farmingdale all finished 7-1, Farmingdale very easily could have gotten the top seed, and he would have run to the chains.
Well, the fans from Freeport, Mike and Greg, are chanting LIC. The Red Devils, after a knee, will take on the winner of tomorrow night's game live on MSG Varsity, Sachem North and William Floyd.
So this game usurps the regular season game in excitement and drama.
And we've got a timeout called. Don't forget, tomorrow night, all the action will get underway with the pregame show at 6:30. Mike Quick, Coach Stengel, be up in Connecticut for Trumbull and number 24, Darien. And Greg, you and I will be here on Long Island, Laval Stadium, Stony Brook University for William Floyd and number 7, Sachem North. Another great Friday night of football on MSG Varsity.
And I am so looking forward to that Division I championship game. There's a lot of history there. Remember last year, Sachem blew Floyd out during the regular season. Floyd blew out Sachem in the championship game. There's no reason that can't happen again this year, although Sachem is a little bit better than last year.
Yeah, there's big Jerry Mackey, guys. You know, you think about it, how close these games have been. How about this? We love stats. Your boy Slauson, Andy Slauson's going to love this stat.
Stat master.
Combined this year, Freeport against Farmingdale scored 65 points. Farmingdale against Freeport scored 65 points.
Wow. Unfortunately, this one, the second one, pushes on for Freeport, and Farmingdale's season is over. That's how even these two teams are, Mike. It's incredible. And they'll back off and watch the clock. Timeout's been called once again. Stopping it. 22.1. It's so hard when these two coaches go at one another. You can only imagine the exchange at midfield when Buddy Krummenacher shakes hands with Russ Sellen. The exchange, what will be said?
Oh, it's very simple. It's very simple. Represent Nassau County. It's very great game, great game. Now go get it for Nassau County.
And it's heartfelt. These guys are great friends.
Absolutely. As much as you want to win, it's tough to beat that guy on the other side of the field when you're so friendly, as you said.
Well, both of these coaches are educators first, and
yes,
the most important thing they're doing is teaching the young people on their sideline.
This one is going to be in the books in just a very few short seconds. 36-33, your Nassau County Conference 1 champs, the Freeport Red Devils, 36 to Farmingdale's 33. Here's the respect factor of these two teams, how they're shaking in the middle of the field. Freeport will celebrate, maybe for a couple of hours. Look at that exchange right there with those two guys.
It's a tough one for Buddy Krumenacker. You know how passionate he is about his team and his Dalers, and you know how much respect he has for Russ and Freeport. And it's a tough one to lose. And I know Russ is feeling Buddy's pain right now.
Absolutely.
As happy as he is, he's a lot of respect for him. He's like, he understands the moment for both.
So Freeport able to defend its Nassau County Conference 1 championship.
3 in a row for Big Red. They continue to roll. And whoever would have thought that these guys would defend their title after what they lost from a year ago.
Player of the game, standing by with Amanda Balionis, Mr. Danger, Jeray Brown.
Well, I'll tell you who probably thought this could happen, and that is Jeray Brown. 3 touchdowns today. Outstanding performance. This was a battle through and through. Have you ever been in a game as emotional as this one?
Nah, I can't say I have. Closest one's probably Oceanside. Can't explain this third county title in a row. Yeah.
And you were a huge part of it. I mean, you had that huge punt return that kind of sparked your entire team. You have been around this program, though, since you were 5 years old. Your dad has been bringing you around. What does it mean to be such a big part of this program now after watching it from the sideline for so many years?
I knew I was going to be out here one day. I just couldn't wait for the day. I was on the sideline, being a kid, dancing with the cheerleaders and just hyping the guys up on the sideline. And now it just feels so good to be a part of it.
You did great, Jeray. Congratulations. All the guys in the booth are calling you Mr. Danger, so you can take that home to your teammates. Go celebrate with your team, Jeray.
All right, Amanda, 36-33. It's Freeport over Farmingdale. For Amanda Balionis, Mike Quick, Greg Sarah, Matt Shortis on the numbers for us, working the stats. I'm Paul Reuter. Good night from Schuett Stadium, the campus of Hofstra University, where once again, Freeport, the Nassau County Conference 1 champion. They'll await the winner of tomorrow night's game, William Floyd and Sachem North. Our number 17, you can see that game right here, live on MSG Varsity HD, Friday Night Football. Good night from Hofstra University, Hempstead, New York.